Shelton on the three-point line. 2 seconds. One gets off the shot, and it's good. Oh, my. And I guess that tells you all you need to know about this first quarter.
Brooks comes up with it, gets it to Myers down the court, and he's got a wide-open dunk, and he throws it down. Myers with a right-hand jam makes it 24-10.
Warren gives it off to Holzhauer, fires it out front, Cowley for the three. Good, and a foul to go with it. How about that?
And good morning. Welcome into another edition of the Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show. I am Rocco Nucci. He is Ron Janssen. Ron, final day of February, just like that, which means my favorite time of year, not just because my birthday falls in the month, March Madness.
Is your birthday in March?
It is.
So is mine, Rocco.
What day?
The 10th.
You're the 10th. Okay, well, I was a mere 10 days, well, and a couple years later, but 20th is
So, yeah,
is
I'm
my
just
birthday,
a little
so
bit
that's
older than you.
I shouldn't have went there. I'm sorry. Putting you.
Rocco, how old will you be on March 20th?
My 20s will be coming to a close, my friend. I'll be hitting 30. I'll be hitting 30. That's one word for me. Yeah,
you, Rocco.
But, yeah, making my way through that.
You'll love your 30s and your 40s and your 50s.
Well, I hear some mixed opinions on that from the guys I go play pickup basketball with. They tell me it's all kind of downhill. Not quite at 30 though. You know what? They've told me 35 is when the body starts to kind of wave that white flag a little bit.
It's all right. It's all right here between your ears, man.
Well, I appreciate that glass half full mentality
right.
from you, my friend.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Hey, I do want to thank our sponsors today before we go any further. As again, this is the Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show. It's brought to you by our friends at LMRE, the Lorraine Medina Rural Electric Cooperative, Nick Abraham Buick GMC, and Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, corner of Route 57 and East Broad Street here in Elyria. Lorain County Community College, LCCC, Real Education for Good Jobs, and our friends at Eco Tree Services, your complete tree care company. Well, Ron, we were kind of looking at the paper, not a whole lot of action last night. We kind of knew that some more action today, but it's kind of how it goes when we get into late February, early March. Teams get whittled down, and it gets skinny in a hurry as far as local teams are concerned.
And we lost a few last night. On the boys' side. Today's a big boys and girls day, but last night was strictly the boys, and we lost a couple. One that we did not lose, and we'll talk to Larry Babbitt, the head coach of the Cardinals of Brookside. They knocked off Perry last night, 72-60. I'm not sure what the
I'm sorry.
was.
I just left a 6 right there. I think 61 maybe was the final there. But
so Brookside will play Orville next. That was a sectional championship game. And then lost Firelands last night. They've had a pretty good season, but their season is over. They lost to Notre Dame Cathedral Latin by 18, 70-52 in a sectional championship. The Middies of Midview go down to Akron-Hoban, and they lose to Hoban 71-37 in that sectional final. And then last night on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel and streaming on WEOL.com, the Brush Elyria Catholic game, Rob Polinsky and Jared Kozar brought it to you. And Gary Pelter, I think, was running camera.
I believe so, yeah.
Tim Gebhardt was sitting right
next to
in
the house, yeah.
Gebby was in the house. Elyria Catholic just couldn't make a shot. I was watching some of it last night, and Rob and Jared were doing a great job. And Elyria Catholic just couldn't hit a shot from the field. They couldn't even make a free throw, and they lose by 15 to Brush, 50-35. And then Lorraine's season is over. The Titans drop one to the Cardinals of Mentor, 83-59. That was in a sectional championship game as well.
Thank you, Ron. And it was 72-61. I was doing my due diligence there while you were going on with the scores. It was 72-61. Brookside, a winner over Perry. My apologies for that one for you. But as you alluded to earlier, Ron, huge day today for our local teams, both on the boys and girls side. Our broadcast will concern the girls exclusively, starting at 1 o'clock. And we can start right there with looking at today's schedule. The Elyria Catholic girls, Eric Rothgary and friends, taking on Canal Fulton Northwest, one of the better programs in Northeast Ohio. That is a Division IV district championship game at North Ridgeville High School, 1 o'clock. So I'll be heading out there after Ron and I are done, along with Jared and Zach Sprague. That'll be live on WEOL.com and on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel.
So, Rocco, last week when I was preparing to do the Keystone girls district semifinal game, I was looking at other teams in the Lorain County 8 who had started the playoffs. Firelands, of course, lost early, but Columbia was playing that Northwest team last week, and I looked into Northwest, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think they're like 25-0 now.
It's something along those. I did all my research yesterday. I don't have it in front of me.
And they have beaten teams by an average this year of 42 points, by an average, not just a couple of games where they really smoked somebody, but everybody. And Columbia was with them 11-11 for like the first 10 minutes, and then it just got out of hand. But another great job by Faith Williams this year.
Yeah, no, they had a good year.
That ought to be a pretty good game. Coach Rothgary obviously will have the defense coached up for Elyria Catholic, and they'll need every bit of defense today.
Yeah, they certainly will. I talked with Indians head coach Kevin Lauer yesterday, and he was certainly looking forward to the matchup. Obviously, he feels good about it with his girls, but he was telling me, kind of that he thought it would be a good contest. So another district championship game at 1 o'clock over at Berea Mid Park. It'll be Olmsted Falls girls with Jordan Eaton taking on John Marshall, and our 2 more 1 o'clock games on the boys' side. Sectional finals today for the boys. Liberty at Keystone. That is a 1 o'clock boys game at Keystone, and then Waynedale visits Black River, the boys team, another sectional final at 1 o'clock this afternoon as well. A couple of 4 o'clock games. There's a 7 o'clock game in here as well that I forgot to write down, but I'll tell you about it. The Keystone girls, they will head over to Wellington for a district championship game to take on Worcester Triway. Rocky Houston, head coach of the Keystone girls, will join us to round out this 9 o'clock hour to talk about that one. North Ridgeville girls, they are at Berea Mid Park following the Olmsted Falls game. They'll take on North Canton Hoover in a district championship game in their own right. And then at 4 o'clock, Avon Lake girls taking on Canfield in a district championship game at Elyria High. That is another one right here on WEOL.com and on that Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. And one more for you. Again, I forgot to write it down. At 7 o'clock tonight at Medina, it will be the Avon girls. Head coach Adam Castrilla will join us at 10:30 to talk about this one. They're taking on Massillon, Washington. And Ron, that's one I'm certainly looking forward to seeing how it plays out, because I had the district semifinal for the Avon girls over at Lakewood earlier this week. Ron, they were down 17-3 after 1 quarter to the Rangers, and they end up running away with that one, winning it by 18. So, 14-point deficit, an 18-point win, a 32-point swing, Ron. I mean, it was dang near unbelievable to see what his girls were able to do that night.
Well, hopefully they can ride that momentum right into today's game against that school down in Massillon. Washington High School, otherwise known as Massillon. To everybody else. I mean, there's Massillon Jackson, but that's the school.
Massillon Perry, yeah.
That's the school that I think it invented football in.
Well, they certainly claim a number of things down there in TIGERS land, and the Avon community, funny enough, is certainly very familiar with Massillon and their football program. Yeah, absolutely. So again, there are some scores from last night. We'll have some more scores and games from earlier in the week to talk about. For example, coming up at 9:20, Josh Sharf, head coach of the Columbia Raiders, his guys got a win over East Canton in the tournament earlier this week. They're on to play, I think, Orwell Grand Valley. In the next round. So he'll join us here in a couple of moments as well. I see Jeff Holzhauer, head coach of the Keystone boys, awaiting in the queue. So why don't we step aside, take our first time out, and when we return, we'll talk to Coach Holzhauer about his tournament game today. 1 o'clock, a sectional final for his guys. They're taking on Liberty. We'll talk to Jeff about that next right here. It's Rocco and Ron on the Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show. We're back after this.
Nick Abraham Elyria Ford is proud to once again be a part of the Cleveland Auto Show, running February 20th through March 1st at the IX Center. Check out the latest models, explore new technology, and find the perfect ride that suits your lifestyle. Love what you see at the show? Head over to Nick Abraham Elyria Ford for special deals you don't want to miss. From the show floor to the showroom, your next ride awaits at Nick Abraham Elyria Ford at the corner of Route 57 and East Broad Street in Elyria.
Are you undecided about your future and overwhelmed by the options? Well, don't worry. You're not alone. Lorain County Community College has helped thousands of students just like you find their future career. From short-term training programs to transfer options all the way to bachelor degrees, our programs are designed to set you up for future success. Lorain County Community College. Your goals, your career, your future. Enroll today.
Back here on the Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show, Rakanushi, Ron, Jans here with you as we move along here in the program. Lots of great guests and head coaches set to join us this morning as my laptop freaks out to my right over here. We'll see if we can get that situated, but we may not need it because we certainly enjoy talking to this man plenty. Jeff Holzhauer caught a mid-sip there. He'll join us now on the Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show. Again, his guys got a sectional final today, 1 o'clock. They'll be playing host to Youngstown Liberty as they begin their tournament trail. Coach, it's always great to have you here on the show, man. I haven't gotten a chance personally to catch up with you in quite some time, but obviously a fantastic season for you guys. How we doing this morning?
Fantastic. Thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So tell us about the plan this morning for you guys, right? A 1 o'clock game this afternoon. I'm sure you're getting the guys into the gym to get some shots up, go through maybe some last minute preparations for today's game. I think this is one where, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth here. I think on paper, from the outside looking in, people think you guys would have this one today, right? Certainly, the advantage over Youngstown Liberty. But knowing you, this isn't one that you or your guys are going to take lightly regarding of the seeding.
Well, we just want to get in the gym right now. We haven't played since our game against Brookside on February 13th. So
wow, yeah.
we've had some time off, and it's been good for us. We've had some varsity teams in the gym with us. The scrimmage, we saved another scrimmage. So we've got some good work in. We've got some rest. We are as healthy as we've been all year. I know all programs in our area and the state have been struggling with illnesses all year, and we had a couple different waves this year. And we've never been better. So guys are shooting well in practice. We're practicing well. I just hope our guys want to get in the gym and under the lights as bad as our coaching staff does, because it's all we've been talking about. We want to play so bad today.
Jeff, was that scrimmage with Amherst?
Yeah, Amherst and Westlake came over.
Yeah, how'd that go? I mean, not did you win, did you lose? But I mean, did you get out of it what you wanted? Did you get to the rest taken care of?
Yeah, no doubt. We were down a couple guys. Again, with just some injuries, and we had a kid on a college visit, but we got out of it what we wanted. We wanted to get some of our younger guys some time in case we needed them down the stretch. And we did a lot of situational stuff. It's more like a practice than a scrimmage. So it was just good having some varsity athletes in the gym working with our guys. It just raises the level of competitiveness, and that's what we needed.
Jeff, you've been in this position, meaning expectations going into tournament play for a couple of years now. It's been a nice run, and that run will continue given the youth of your basketball team. But is your team young anymore? Even though, if you look at class, freshman, sophomore, junior, you say, yeah, they're young, but they're not really, are they? I mean, you've got experienced guys who played in big games on that team, don't you?
Yeah, I don't look at it like that at all. Even last year, we had a bitter taste in our mouth after our season ended last year. And I just remember texting some of our returning guys, and I don't care who's in our district. I don't care what's going on. Like next year is our year. Like it doesn't matter how old our kids is. It's who can we put out there on the floor and how talented are they? I could care less how old they are. Our guys are ready. They're ready to do great things. And a lot of people want to talk about our team next year. I don't care about our team next year. We got a great senior, Emery Fedor, and we want to send him out the right way and do some things at Keystone that haven't been done.
Well, and Emery is a guy, Jeff, that, more often than not, he's not the one grabbing the headlines in the paper for you guys, right? And he's not necessarily the focal point of our chats on these shows. But, I mean, we've talked about him a couple times with you. He does a lot of the intangible things, and that's not to discredit any of the tangible things that he does on the floor, but really one of those guys that you just love having within your program for culture and just ability to help lift other guys up, if nothing else, isn't he?
Yeah, no doubt. He does so many things for us athletically and from a basketball standpoint, but that's not everything that Emery does. I think the most important thing, and this is no offense to you guys and what you guys do. You guys watch the game of basketball and you watch our kids out there on the floor. What we do as coaches is so much more than that. It is blending these personalities and sometimes these egos. And when you're coaching varsity basketball, it's the biggest lesson I learned when I went from freshman and JV to varsity basketball. The sense of entitlement, especially with upperclassmen, egos, parents, totally different at the varsity level. And sometimes that senior year, you don't always get the best version of every kid. You get some tougher situations because they kind of think that they should just be given a bigger role. And sometimes that clashes with what the coaches want and what the rest of the team sees and what the rest of the team needs. That's what we see as a coaching staff and as a team, what Emory brings to us more than anyone else. Emory is a fantastic leader. He is a fantastic locker room guy. He's a fantastic teammate. He wants nothing but success for his teammates above what he wants for himself. And if you have a senior that has that mindset and that personality, that's a win. And that helps our team be the team that we are today because of Emory Fedor.
Jeff, I don't know if you could have given him a higher compliment. I mean,
well, I think the world of him. And that was my goal. I think the world of him. Yeah. We all do. He's just one of those guys. And, I've coached him for 4 years in track as well. Emory's my dude, man. We've been through a lot together, a lot of conversations. He is a competitor. And basketball is something he does. He's a track athlete, and he's pretty special out there, and he does a lot of great things. So Emory's a dude, and he is a dude for us here at Keystone, and he does a lot for us.
Jeff, what needs to happen in your mind in the first quarter today, or maybe even the first 4 minutes of the basketball game? Maybe even it gets refined to the first 2 minutes. Is that important? The start.
It's all important. Yeah, it's all important. I can't wait for that first 2 minutes, and I'm glad you said that. I want to be perfect, and I'm going to tell these guys, I want everything we do, I want it to be perfect, and it won't be. That's what we strive as coaches. We strive for perfection, and that's what we want. We know we're never going to achieve that, but I want to be as close to perfect as I can, and I'm going to be yelling and screaming and demanding perfection, and that's what our kids want, and that's what we're going to look for. Our energy needs to be great. We need to be awesome defensively, and we need to make the right plays offensively. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for perfection.
Jeff, you already kind of alluded to it at the start of our conversation here, but and again, I didn't even realize it had been 15 days since you guys had last had seen some in-game action, and you mentioned the scrimmages, and I'm sure you kind of balanced getting some action, getting some rest, kind of during this prolonged period. But where is kind of that concern level, not necessarily just with this group of guys, but just as a coach in general, with having that kind of break away from in-game action? You and Rhonda just talked about kind of getting off to a quick start today. How much does that kind of weigh in the mind of you throughout your week of preparation, kind of heading into this one today?
Absolutely zero. I will look at that as an excuse. Our guys, just like I said, is as hungry as our coaching staff is right now. Our guys need to be just as hungry, and anything less than that, anything less than great effort and being sharp on both ends is just making excuses for our kids. And this isn't a group that ever makes excuses. So, maybe some of their moms and dads and friends might try to use that as an excuse, but within our basketball program, we will not. Our guys will be ready to go, and we're going to be awesome today.
Jeff, what does Liberty present?
Athleticism. Athleticism. They have some length. They have some athletes out there. There's a reason they've only won 3 games. They're not a great basketball team. But they show flashes of being pretty good. And I showed the guys on film, and they're all like, okay, yeah, they can do some things. They just, throughout the course of the year, all the games I've watched, they haven't been able to do that consistently for 4 quarters. But that doesn't mean they're bad basketball players. So they can do some things that concern me just from an athletic standpoint. They score around the rim well. They rebound well. They run the floor well. So they can do some things that present some challenges for us. They just haven't had success doing it for 4 quarters, being able to sustain that. But, they're probably ready to go, trying to make some noise in the tournament and try to upset a good team. So we expect their best effort.
For you guys, you win 3 straight to conclude the regular season. You knock off Brookside in that finale, right, to get a share of that Lorain County League championship. Do you believe in kind of carrying that momentum into the postseason, or is it kind of wipe the slate clean? It's a whole new season, essentially, when those brackets get developed.
I mean, we always pride ourselves and we talk about we need to be playing our best basketball at the end of the year. And it's been a different year. The things that we've had to work on is just totally different than any team I've ever coached. And we're getting pretty good at those little things that we've been working on. So we feel like we're ready to go, and we're as good right now as we've been all year. So yeah, if you want to talk about momentum, I just look at full body of work, what we've been able to accomplish this year on Friday nights and Tuesday nights and Saturday. But more importantly, what have we been able to accomplish at practice every day to make us the team that we are? And our coaching staff talks about that all the time. Like, what do we need to do now? What do we need to get better at? And you just tackle those little daily tasks, and then your team turns into who they are. And who we are has a lot to do with our coaching staff and our personality of our kids. And I don't think we can be any better than we are right now.
There you go. There you go. Well, hey, we can close with this real quick. Geographically, I think the LaGrange community feeling okay about being able to see some basketball today, right? You guys at 1 at home, and then short trek over to Wellington for the girls later on. I think, some folks might be able to catch both today if they so chose.
Oh, I think they're going to be able to catch both. I think they're going to be able to make a stop between two, and I think they're pretty excited. I know the people in LaGrange really well, and I expect probably a better crowd for us for a first round game than normal for a 1 o'clock on a Saturday, just because I think there's a lot of crazies in our town that are ready to do both. And I think that's awesome. And, all my buddies are throw them right in with that group. We've talked about our plan for the day and what that looks like. And we're really excited about it. So it's a great day to be a Wildcat. So we're excited about the day that lies ahead for us.
We won't ask Jeff to reveal where that stop is in between games, but I'm sure him and his friends have it all planned out. Hey, Jeff, good luck today. It's good to see you.
Good to see you guys, and you guys know how much I appreciate you guys covering us and letting me get on here and talk away. You know how much I love it. So we got a lot of people that are excited about these next couple weeks. So we have high hopes.
As you should. Thanks again, Coach. Good luck to you guys today.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
There he is, Jeff Holzhauer, head coach of the Keystone Wildcats, kind enough to share some time. And yeah, that works out for the folks wearing purple today, right? Catch the boys game at 1, make a quick pit stop, refuel, recharge, head to the girls game at 4. They're going to be in good shape.
It's a great day if you're a Keystone Wildcat.
Yes, it is.
For certain.
Yes, it is. Well, Josh Sharf, I saw, was awaiting us, and then he dipped out of here, so I'm sure he'll rejoin us after we take this quick timeout. There he is. So, Coach Sharf from the Columbia Raiders, we're going to get a quick timeout. We're going to get your way next right here. It's Rocco and Ron on the Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show. We're right back after this.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, Cavs radio voice. Recently, we had some trees removed. So again, singing the praises of EcoTree Services. In a few hours, EcoTree had removed the unsightly trees, cleaned the debris, and opened the area for a new fence. I can't say enough good things about the people at EcoTree. I've used them several times, always thrilled with their work. If you have trees that require pruning or need to be removed, contact EcoTree, a local business that deserves your business. They've earned mine. Go to ecotreeservices.com.
It's the biggest show of the year, the Cleveland Auto Show, running February 20th through March 1st at the IX Center. Nick Abraham Buick GMC is once again proud to be a part of the event, so you can see their latest lineup packed with style, performance, and innovation. Take the drive to their Elyria showroom, where special auto show deals are waiting for you. From the auto show to your driveway, get your next vehicle at Nick Abraham Buick GMC, Route 57 and East Broad Street in Elyria.
Back here on the Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show, Rocco Nushi, Ron Yance here with you as we move right along and welcome our next guest onto the stage. It's Josh Sharf, head coach of the Columbia Raiders. He's a little more mobile, it seems, this week than he was last. I know last week, we can start with this because obviously we want to talk about the tournament win that you guys had, Coach, but you guys had, a shoot-a-thon going on, I believe, last Saturday morning, and I guess I don't need the dollar amount result of that one, right? But did that kind of get the turnout and everything that you guys were hoping for last weekend?
Yeah, it did. It was a really good turnout for us and a really good fundraiser for us to get ready to head down to Florida next season. So Ashley Mangy was in charge of that for us this year, and she does our scorebook with us, and she's a really good person to have on our side, and she does a great job. So she led that fundraiser, and it was a great fundraiser for us.
Josh, are you in the back seat of the limo that athletic director Jason Ward has gotten for the athletic department? Is that where you're joining us right now?
No, actually, I'm in my wife's car. My son turned 16 today, and he just finished his driver's test. So now he passed his test, and now we got to go get his license. So I'm in doing that, and then we got practice at noon today, and then we had birthday dinner tonight. So it's to your point, yeah, I'm very much more mobile today than last week.
Well, some new concerns then for you, right? Not only as a head
Right.
coach now, but as dad, right? You got the little one driving around now. That's always an interesting feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm happy for him.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, let's talk about your guys' win over East Canton earlier this week as you guys take it to them 64-46. You're on to play the 2 seed now, Orwell Grand Valley, and we can talk about that a little bit later on as well. But let's just go back to that win over East Canton. Again, you guys win that one by 18. Is that maybe kind of how you expected that to go? Did you expect to create some separation, or just kind of talk to us about how that one went down a little bit?
Yeah, we knew they were going to come out and zone us early, and we told our guys if we can shoot them out of that zone and get them into man, we knew we could create some separation. And then we finally did that in the third quarter. We were down 2 after 1. Second quarter, I think Mason Bledsoe was really huge for us in that second quarter. A guy that hasn't played a whole lot this year, but a guy that just really knows his role, and he was incredible for us on Thursday night. He was able to attack the interior of that zone. He was the biggest guy on the floor. He got a ton of offensive rebounds and putbacks for us. So as we were able to stretch that lead, take the deficit into a 7 or 8 point lead at half, and then in the third quarter, we were able to create some separation, which was great. I thought Logan Mengi was incredible. He was attacking the rim at a really high clip, and he was shooting the ball. He was 4 for 8 from 3, so he was able to stretch the defense out and then attack when they switched to man. So, we talked after the game, we could go into that, break down that film every 2 to 3 minutes, and somebody else was stepping up in that game. Dylan Fisher had some big threes for us late in that game to create some more separation. I thought defensively we were really good. Ambrose Beach, Graham started on their point guard, who I thought was really good. And then Ambrose switched on to him in the second half and really shut that kid down. So overall, it was a really, really good team win, and everybody contributed in a positive way. So it was great.
Josh, I'm wondering, and maybe it's obvious every game is about matchups, right? I mean, certain strengths and weaknesses that you see, but you mentioned a couple of players in the win in the opening round of the tournament that maybe didn't see as much playing time during the regular season as they played the other night. Was that a matchup thing?
Absolutely, and we talked after the game, and I know there's some frustration with minutes in the postseason, and your postseason bench, your substitution gets a little tighter. But I told him, I said, it's all matchups, you guys. Like if you didn't play today, that doesn't mean you're not gonna play a lot on Monday, because the matchups are different on Monday. So it's absolutely we have to use our roster and our system as effective as we can against the matchups that we're faced each night. So they're going to change, especially in the postseason. Your substitution and your patterns of changes are just going to change based on who you're playing and it's the feel of the game. And we put a couple guys in early, and it just wasn't their night, and Mason went in and was huge for us. So we ran with the hot hand.
Yeah.
Coach, sort of sounding, this may be a silly question / point I'm trying to make here, but sounds like a very productive opening round win for you guys, just in terms of you took on an opponent you maybe didn't know a whole lot about. They threw some things at you. You guys had to adjust and adapt a little bit, and you did. I got to imagine that gives you, your staff, and your kids some confidence, obviously, heading into next round as well, knowing that you got tested a little bit and you answered it.
Absolutely. Getting the first playoff games, there's some jitters, and playing at home, there's some expectations. So, and then to your point, they definitely threw some different things at us all night, and the kids responded well. Monday night's going to be a whole different challenge for us. It's a really good team out in Grand Valley, but the confidence is high. Yesterday was a lighter practice. Today we're going to get after it pretty hard, and tomorrow we'll see where our legs are and get ready for Monday.
Josh, what does Grand Valley present?
They're going to be a matchup problem for us. They've got 3 really good guards. I mean, the point guard's 6'5", and our tallest guy is 6'3", 6'4". So Logan and Graham usually guard the point guards, but I mean, he posts up really well. So we're gonna have to do some matchup issues with matchup changes when he goes outside to inside. They crash the boards really well. They man up, which is good. We prefer to play teams that man. But they're going to pressure us everywhere. So they're a really good team. They deserve the 2 seed, and it's a challenge that our guys are looking forward to, and I think we're going to step up.
What's that bus ride down to Grand Valley for you guys?
I think by car it's 90, so by bus it's probably just shy of 2 hours. But so we're gonna try to get there a little early so the guys can get off the bus, get loose, get their legs moving, and so We're gonna feed them before we get on the bus and just shoot around after school, give them some food, get on the bus, and get down there and just kind of go through a normal pregame as much as possible after that long of a bus ride.
Josh, before we let you go, I've got to ask maybe the most important question of the morning with you. Who would your son rather drive with, in the car as he's a learning driver, you or his mother?
I don't think there's a right answer for that, but no, I think he's more comfortable with his mom. When he drives my car, he's stressed out about getting a scratch or getting a door ding because I baby my truck. But right, so I think he's more comfortable with his mother in the car for sure.
Fair enough. It's probably a good answer on your behalf to save you a tough conversation later. So good stuff. Good stuff. Well, Coach, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Appreciate you joining us. Congratulations to your son on the birthday and the license acquisition. That's a big step for any teenager. So congratulations to him, and looking forward to seeing how you guys do next week.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having us on and allowing us to talk about our kids.
You got
Josh, good luck.
Thank you.
It's Josh Sharf, head coach of the Columbia Raiders, kind enough to share some time. Boy, that is I mean, you would know as a parent of a couple younger ones, right? That whole getting the license as a 16-year-old behind the wheel, turning the radio up. Oh, turn that down, down.
I don't think they should allow children to drive as sick. You could drive at 15 and a half.
You can get your temps. Yeah, that's right. Well, some of the girls I coach at Independence, they were the sophomores. They were into that, getting their temps phase. And
our next guest is Kurt Habermill. I mean, I remember when Kurt was 16 years old. So, and that's been at least, 50 years ago. So,
well, let's put him on. Kurt, you hear that? Ron's taking some digs at you. Here you are with the beautiful Vermilion Sailor backdrop. It's like we're doing an NBA press conference with you, and Ron Yance is taking digs at you. Can you believe this guy, Kurt, or what?
No, Kurt's
apparently I'm about 70 some years old now then. If I've been, that was 50 years ago.
Well, you guys see him on the screen.
He looks really good for 70 something.
Yeah, right.
He must moisturize.
Yeah, right. Well, the backdrop is fantastic. What are you in? Is that Stillman's office that you're in this morning with that, or where are you coming?
I am. Okay. Yeah, I am. I'm in my AD's office. We have practice this morning, so we're taking a quick break for the interview, and I figured no one would bother me in here as long as I came in here.
Good stuff. Well, talk to us about this win over Bellevue, right? You guys knock off the 4 seed earlier this week. I don't have the final score in front of me, but I know you guys obviously did winning that one, so that gets you guys a date with the top seed Sandusky Perkins here next week. But talk to us about that Bellevue win and how big that was for your guys.
Yeah, it was a great win for us. Bellevue's a really good basketball team. They started off 14-2, and they ran into some issues with some injuries and other things where they dropped a couple games, but we knew that it was going to be an incredibly tough game, especially going to their place, which is a very hard place to play. And our kids followed the game plan to a T. And once they got in control of the game and kind of got the early game jitters out of the way, I thought we were in control most of the game.
Kurt, what was that game plan? I mean, we just talked to Josh Sharf about matchups, and I'm certain that game plan had something to do with matchups that you guys thought you could take advantage of.
So for us, it was handling their guards. Their guards are very good basketball players. I think we held the one to 14 and the other one to 10. They were a very physical basketball team, so it was matching their physicality. And I was pretty happy. The refs decided the game was going to be physical, and they kept it that way, and they did a fantastic job. And once our kids adjusted to that level of physicality, I thought we kind of won that battle the rest of the game. And, offensively, we did a great job of finding the best shot, and defensively, we just kept them out of the lane and rebounded the basketball. And, when you can do that and not give a team extra chances, you're going to give yourself a chance to win.
Kurt, you've been coaching for an awful long time, and you've watched a lot of basketball when you're not coaching. The physicality in the tournament, is it different? The allowing of the physicality in the tournament, is it different than it is in the regular season? We'll just use the NBA as an example. I mean, we all see regular season NBA. It's like people don't play defense, and then suddenly in the playoffs, it's almost like hockey. In high school basketball, in your experience over the years, is it allowed in the playoffs more than it is in the regular season, and is that a good thing?
I don't know if allowed is the right word. I think part of that, it's not a problem. It's actually a great thing because I love physical basketball games, but right. I think a lot of it is the intensity's turned up. it's not in the regular season game. High school kids' mindsets a lot of times is I have, another game to play. We got another game on Friday if it's a Tuesday game. And I think once the tournament rolls around, you have that one and done mentality, and the level of intensity is turned up a little bit. And I'm sure it's the same for the refs. They have a way they're going to call their game and they stick with it. And you just got to adjust as a team. And I don't mind it as long as it's, consistent. If they're going to call physical, and if they're going to call everything, then call everything the entire game. And if they're going to let us play, then just let us play the entire game. And the referees we had there tonight did a great job of that.
Kurt, kind of sticking with that theme of because I think you're right. Regular season, the mindset is like, another game, it's the next game, and that's probably the right mindset to have throughout the course of a long regular season. But it's very different when you get to the postseason, right? Kind of that do or die mentality starts to set in. And maybe this would be a better question for one of your players, but I got to imagine just from like a shot making ability, right, or a shot taking perspective. A little more pressure when you line up to take a three or when you're at the free throw line, right? I feel like that just gets cranked up times 100 once you get to the postseason, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Every possession matters. I mean, we were talking to the kids in a film session today that the most important possession isn't necessarily when the game's tied. The most important possession is when you're up 9 and you have a chance to extend it to 11 or 12 and put a team away. And, as for us, it's getting that best shot. Now, the free throws for us are a totally different situation because we are a god-awful free throw shooting team. But so we're always feeling the pressure free throw wise. But as far as shots and stuff, we kind of encourage the kids, if you got your shot, you got to take it. You got to be confident with it. And if you're not confident with it, then you need to make that next pass and give somebody else a better shot.
Kurt, how much time do you spend on a practice by practice basis shooting? How much time do you spend, guys, we're going to shoot?
Yeah, we usually go probably between 20 and 30 minutes of a practice of shooting. We shoot a lot. In that 20 to 30 minute time period, we'll probably get up, each kid will probably get up over 60 to 80 shots. It's a lot of repetitive shots, just trying to find a rhythm, trying to get the kids comfortable. And then we'll kind of proceed into action shots right now, or, off the dribble, stuff like that. But we really, really preach to our kids to take the shots that you take in games. So either it's a strong finish at a basket or it's a three. We don't practice a lot of mid-range shots because they're too difficult of shots and kids aren't comfortable with them. So most of our shots are either from long distance or they're inside the paint, and we tend to stay away from the 14-foot jump shot at times.
Boy, that's modern basketball
right.
Personified, isn't it? I mean, it's pretty much, you want the layup or you want the three. Not that an open mid-range is an awful shot necessarily, right? I'm sure you might agree with me on that. But, I think you're absolutely right. Taking that contested 14, 15-footer, it's one of those where you can pretty much get that any time as opposed to working for something inside or an open in-rhythm three.
Yeah, for sure. And we do have a couple kids that are really good at, like Brock Myers is a fantastic mid-range shooter. And he knows that, he can get to his spot and put that shot in 60% of the time. So it's not like we don't want him to shoot those, but some of these shots that we take at times, which are on a baseline, maybe from like 13 feet away, those are just really difficult shots. And if you're not going to practice them on your own, and you're not going to be able to, it's hard to simulate when you're going to get those shots, then we don't really want you to take those shots.
Kurt, rotation-wise, now in the tournament run, is it similar to the regular season? Does it change on a game-by-game basis? How are you and the rest of the coaches approaching that?
So it depends on what team I have. In the past, I've kind of shortened it a little bit. But I really like my 9 guys that play in a game. So we kind of just run them in and out, and they all know kind of when they're going in and who they're going in for and things like that. Once we get to the second half, it's probably a little bit more about matchups and what the other team's doing. If another team's going a little smaller against us, then we probably don't have our big kid in at times defensively. But if a kid, they got a big post in that's killing us, then we're going to go bigger and we're going to challenge them a little bit more inside. And so for us, it's a matchup based thing in the second half. But first half, we're kind of keeping our rotation and going with it.
Top seeded Perkins on Tuesday for you guys, a 7:30 tip. What's kind of the early prognosis on that one? What do you guys need to do well to try to hang with those guys next week?
So we got to keep them out of the paint. I feel like it's a winnable game for us. You know, that the team we just beat, Bellevue, lost in double overtime to Perkins, and in the second game they were up 18 on Perkins and blew an 18-point lead. I just think we got to take care of the ball. At that, and we always talk about a good and bad turnover, right? So a good turnover for us is a 5-second call or throwing the ball out of bounds or a travel. A bad turnover for us is making a pass that they pick off and go get a layup out of. A good turnover we can set up and play defense. A bad turnover we can't defend. So we got to stay away from the bad turnovers. We got to win the rebounding battle, and we got to find the 3-point line when they're on offense because they shoot it pretty well.
Understood. Ron, anything else for Kurt?
Well, one last question. Kurt, you talked about it's a possession by possession game, and earlier when Jared was asking, or when Rocco was asking you about, taking the right shot and making it, are you exhausted at the end of a basketball game, just mentally, because of that? Because you have 4 quarters. I'm doing high school and college, so I've got the number of minutes mixed up.
32,
but 32 minutes. Possession by possession. It's like, and you're a baseball guy too. It's like pitch by pitch for 9 innings or 7 innings. Are you exhausted at the end of a basketball game?
Yeah, I would say yes. It's kind of, you take that deep breath after a game and you're like, holy cow, that was tough. And you're right. It's only 32 minutes, but it seems like it's an eternity at times, especially when you're trying to hang on at the end of a game or, trying to get back in it. So you realize that, while you can't get out there and play, you're kind of playing through your kids a little bit, and you're kind of going up and down the sideline and pacing and thinking the next play all the time. And it's probably more mentally exhausting than it is physically.
Right. Yeah. That's really what I meant, the mental exhaustion. So
yeah, that's certainly heavy. No
Always
question.
Great stuff, Kurt. Good to see you. Good luck.
Appreciate you guys for having me. Thank you.
You got it. It's Kurt Habermill, head coach of the Vermilion Sailors, kind enough to share some time with us this morning. His guys got a big win over Bellevue earlier this week to punch their ticket to the district semis on Tuesday. Again, it was a 58-47 win for his guys over Bellevue. And that's a nice upset for them on the road against a very good Bellevue program. And like you said, winnable game against top-seeded Perkins. Now, Perkins, as I look at them here on Max Preps, they went 21-2, 9-1 in that Sandusky Bay Conference. They're in the Lake Division portion of that conference, I believe. So obviously, there's all the bells and whistles that they've got to their program and their team this year. But again, I think lots of reasons for the Sailors to feel good about themselves heading into that.
And maybe the most important reason, or the biggest factor, is confidence. I mean, you could hear it in Kurt's voice.
Yeah.
You could see it in his face as he spoke about his team, that they feel good about how they're playing right now.
Yeah, and I think I got to see them, once this season. I know I saw the Lady Sailors a couple of times. Their season came to a close as they took on, I believe, the Bellevue girls after they defeated Millbury Lake in their opening round game on WEOL. That was a fun one to call for sure. So great stuff there from Kurt. Well, speaking of Kurt Habermill, Kurt Russell, head coach of the Oberlin Phoenix, awaits us after this quick timeout. Will come his way next. It's Rocco and Ron with you on the Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show. We're right back after this timeout.
It's the biggest show of the year, the Cleveland Auto Show, running February 20th through March 1st at the IX Center. Nick Abraham Buick GMC is once again proud to be a part of the event, so you can see their latest lineup packed with style, performance, and innovation. Take the drive to their Elyria showroom, where special auto show deals are waiting for you. From the auto show to your driveway, get your next vehicle at Nick Abraham Buick GMC, Route 57 and East Broad Street in Elyria.
Lorain County Community College is where you'll lock in your future success. We've helped thousands of people just like you match skills and experience with a career. We can help you train for a career that is in demand right now. You can even work in your field while taking classes. LCCC will get you prepared, get you credentialed, and get you working. Lorain County Community College. Your goals, your career, your future. Enroll today.
Back here on the Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show, Rocco Nucci, Ron Jans here with you this morning. Sorry, shuffling through brackets and, flying through Max Prep's pages and all of that good stuff. It gets kind of crazy come tournament time, trying to follow, all of our teams, where they're going, who they got next round, all
That's what
that
makes
good
it fun.
stuff. It is fun. It's certainly fun. It's my favorite time of the year, no question about that. Well, someone who will probably agree with that, Kurt Russell, head coach of the Oberlin Phoenix, joins us now. His guys coming off a big win over Independence, 55-50. Coach, I know reading through that Chronicle Telegram, Ardo, I know you weren't on hand for that one. You had some educational duties to attend to, but interim head coach, I guess, in that instance, Phil Payne, taking over, getting the job done for you guys. Second time you guys beat Independence this season. And again, reading through that article, your guys had a little bit of motivation on their side heading into that one earlier this week, didn't they?
Yes, and first of all, thank you so much for having me this morning. The kids saw in the paper where Independence could have a home game, and they decided to pick us in terms of a bracket draw. And so the kids recognized that, and the kids thought as though they was a little disappointed. High school chatter, of course, but at the same time, the kids really honed in, and I thought we played decently against a good Independence team, even though their record didn't show it. Very well coached, very talented team, and we was blessed to get away with the victory.
Kurt, did the kids see it in the paper, or did you and the coaches make it convenient for the kids to see it?
I would say that we made it convenient for the kids to see it. Try to have a little motivation underneath them. And I thought it worked a little bit, but at the same time, you still have to put the ball on the floor. You still have to make sure you know your strategies and concepts and go over the game plan. And I thought the kids did well with that.
People talk about this, Kurt, at all different levels of sports, from professional ranks all the way even, grade school athletics. But beating a team twice throughout the course of a season, and kind of in a short time span as well. I know Independence in the regular season was kind of on the second half of your guys' schedule, if I'm not mistaken. How tough is that to beat a team not just once, but then to do it again, especially in a postseason setting?
It's very difficult, especially since we beat Independence the first game on the last second shot.
Right.
And so we was down 46-45, and Corey Freeman drove in for a layup with maybe 3 seconds left. And so Independence knew coming in that they could be very highly competitive against us, and we knew that Independence could be very challenging for us as well. So I thought that dynamics played into a very difficult game for us.
Kurt, why is your team here right now? Why are they in a district semifinal? How have they gone through the peaks and valleys of a regular season and come out in a position where, they're set to make a tournament run?
I tell you what, I think it's chemistry. The kids really like one another. I have to be honest with you. We are not the very talented team. We don't shoot the ball extremely well. We on the smaller side. But at the same time, we work very, very hard. Defensively, we hold teams to around 48, 49 points a game to give us an opportunity to be competitive. We are used to close games. Every game we play in this conference, we won 9 games, and every game that we won has been less than maybe 8 points, maybe 4 overtime games. And so I think we are battle tested for a tournament run. The closeness of games do not scare us at all, and we are looking forward to trying to be a good Rootstown team on Monday.
Coach, what's the challenge with getting high school athletes to buy into kind of that defensive first mentality? And it sounds like for your guys, just kind of personnel wise, and this is no discredit to your kids,
Yes.
but maybe it sounds like that's sort of out of necessity this season, right? Focusing on that defensive side of the ball. But we know the modern game of basketball. We just talked with Coach Abramill at Vermillion about it. People want to run and gun and shoot threes and get the score into the 70s and 80s and all of that good stuff. But not you guys. What did it take for your guys to really buy into that this season?
Honestly, it's just to be truthful and to be honest. The first day of practice, we looked over our personnel and we said to ourselves, we have probably one really, really talented scorer, and that's Carmelo Williams.
Right.
And we have a lot of role players, which is great. In order for us to win games this year, it can't be Williams versus 5 players. It have to be Oberlin versus a team. And I thought the kids really bought into that. I thought Williams does a nice job of buying into that as well. And, honesty and being truthful for what we have. And to tell the kids, in order for us to win this year, we have to do this. And the kids brought into it.
Seed-wise, Rootstown is here with an upset.
Yes.
So you face them next. What will that game come down to, Kurt?
um, rebounding. They are a very physical team. It's going to come down to us handling their pressure a little bit. And as always for Oberlin, it comes down, are we able to get crucial stops? Are we able to really lock in on the defensive end and don't have any laps? When we don't have laps on the on the ball side, then we are okay. Once we get behind 7 and 8 points because we gave up a lot of easy layups and shots, that's when we struggle because it's hard for us to come back.
Oberlin being such a special community, special place, passionate, people about your boys basketball program, especially in all things Oberlin, really. But what do you expect that environment to be like next week for you guys?
It's going to be exciting for us. It's been a few years since we got to this point, to a district semifinal game. And so the community is excited, the school is excited, but more importantly, the kids are excited. We came into this season picked to finish second to last in our conference. And so the kids really brought into that and worked hard. And I'm so happy for them than anything else.
Kurt, before we let you go, and we got Rocky Houston, the girls coach at Keystone, coming up next, and Rocky's in queue. How important is it for you to continue that commitment to education? You missed the sectional championship game because you had an educational leadership commitment. What was it? And then how important maybe is the support of the administration at Oberlin to allow you to do that?
Well, thank you so much for that question because it's very important. I went to Google in California for the National Teacher of the Year program. I'm a facilitator, and so I facilitate discussions dealing with education. And it's so important. And I use basketball as a classroom. And so it's important for me to continue to coach because coaching is just a transition to the classroom. And I just wish that all coaches recognize the importance that we have and the power that we have to motivate young people to be good people. And that's more important than winning basketball games. And Oberlin City Schools have been so supportive of me. And the kids have been as well. Missing a few games to do this work means a lot to me.
That's awesome. It certainly takes a special, unique culture to kind of allow that to happen. And I think you guys certainly have that over there at Oberlin. And I think you're spot on. That's certainly well said. And so congratulations to you and your guys for advancing to the next round. Good to see you, nice and safe back in Oberlin. And I think we're going to do that game on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. I'll confirm that with Jared here today. But I think we should be seeing you guys on Monday. So we'll see you guys there. And thanks for joining us this morning, Kurt.
And thank you so much. And once again, thank you for all that you do for Lorain County basketball.
You got it.
Good luck, Coach.
Kurt Russell, head coach of the Oberlin Phoenix, kind enough to share some time with us here this morning. And his guys have a date with Rootstown on Monday. That's the second, right? Monday being the second, I believe, right? Tomorrow's the first. Okay, yeah, just making sure on that. So, yeah, I'll confirm that with Jared, but I think our plan is to be there. So, certainly looking forward to that one. Well, we won't be there for his game today, but we were for the previous round, an overtime winner against Orville, where Rocky Houston in the Keystone Wildcats. But that's not the focus today, is it, Coach Rock, as he joins us as his girls get set for a postseason matchup today. Certainly looking forward to that one. So, Coach, first and foremost, thank you very much for joining us this morning. How are we doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you, Rocco. Thank you, Ron, for having me on. I truly appreciate it. Look forward to 4 o'clock today.
Well, I'm sure that is the primary focus, right? So I only kind of want to ask one or maybe two, if Ron has one, about the Orville game, because that was a thriller for you guys. I was watching that one on WEOL.com and on that Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. That one goes to overtime, and then you guys pitch a shutout in that overtime period. Ron, you were on the call for that one, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I was talking to Rocky about this post-game. Orville took a 43-42 lead. It was their first lead of the game. Keystone started out. Maddie Sokolowski made 3 threes. They're up 11-2 before folks got warm in the seats. And then Orville just didn't go away. They're up 43-42 with 2:10 left in the regulation, in the fourth quarter. And Rock's defense, the Wildcat defense, did not allow them to score for the next 6 minutes, the last 2 minutes of regulation and 4 minutes of overtime. That commitment was impressive, wasn't it, Rocky?
Yeah, the girls were awesome when we needed to be awesome. We did some good things early on. Then we kind of made some mistakes that Orville back in. Then we got ourselves separated again. And then in that fourth quarter, our youth showed itself there for a little bit of a stretch where we had about an 8 or 10 point lead and ended up going down, like you said. But our girls settled down then after that. came down and hit a free throw to get the game tied up to finish up the fourth quarter. And then we had the overtime, and our girls were just awesome, offensively and defensively in that overtime. And, that's what you want, when you have a team so young like we are with the 4 freshmen, the 4 sophomores, and just the two juniors, that that's the kind of game that you grow up in and you mature, and all of a sudden your freshmen become sophomores, your sophomores become juniors, and your juniors become seniors. So we hope that rolls right over into today's game.
Well, and you probably know this just about as well as anybody, Coach, but that's tournament basketball, isn't it? And I think that's kind of what you texted me afterwards. It's not always going to be pretty. It might even be a little ugly. You might have to muck it up a little bit, but at the end of the day, win's a win in the postseason. And I'm sure maybe that's something you've talked about today with the girls, is that, hey, things probably aren't going to go exactly as you draw them up, and things aren't going to go perfectly offensively and defensively for you guys throughout the course of a 32-minute postseason contest. But you got to keep your head down and try to make as many winning plays as possible.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we've talked about a lot, with our girls, just because of the lack of court experience and varsity experience, that sometimes we have to, and personnel as well, but sometimes we have to make the game a little bit ugly to give ourselves the best opportunity to win the game. You get a little chaos and it gets a little chaotic, and you make teams do things that they're not used to do for 4 quarters. Then hopefully when you need to make plays, they're a little bit tired, they're a little bit out of position, they don't shoot quite as well, and then we're hoping that we do make the plays when we need to make them. And it was kind of actually both the last 2 games, if you watched them, they were ugly at times, but when the 4th quarter rolled around and we needed to make plays, our girls were ready for it because we had played that kind of basketball for most of the year.
Rocky, when you look at today's game, the matchup with Triway, we've talked a lot about matchups this morning with all the coaches that we've had on. Triway and Orville play in the same league. Triway won both games, but they were close games. Is today's matchup different than the Orville matchup? Body type wise, athleticism wise. How do you look at today's game for your Wildcats?
Yeah, actually, all 3 teams. Canton South was in the Division II, so Canton South was the same thing. And the point differential in the Triway games was similar to the point differential in our games. Personnel-wise, they're definitely different. They don't have that big post player like both Canton South and Orville had. They're a really good fundamental defensive team. They come back. They play man defense. They don't really press. They look at your personnel and they will face guard. So we are expecting Maddie to be face guarded today. But they play good fundamental, but they're pressure defense. They're up with their hands on you. It's hard to make good passes. And then, the girls you're trying to pass to, they're close to them. So you got to come meet passes. You got to be strong when you have the basketball, and you got to be able to handle that ball pressure. We haven't played many teams during the season who play like that. Normally anybody who is physical and stuff like that, normally it's more of a full court game, or they're doing zone trapping, pressuring kind of stuff. So it will be interesting, how we handle that pressure. But they have two girls that can fill it up. So we're going to do our best to slow down those 2 girls. But I believe our girls are ready for the moment. We've done everything that we're supposed to do to get ready at this point in time. I'm not sure if everybody beginning of the year thought this is where we would be at, but I knew the girls were going to be really a good team. It's just when it was going to happen. And, for these girls, it started off early in the season and they had so much success early in the season, and it kept rolling and rolling through the whole entire season. We did have a couple hiccups through the season, but when you win 21 games, you're playing pretty good basketball. And I think the girls are playing good team basketball right now. They're playing their best basketball right now, so it's going to be a really, really fun game tonight.
Well, Coach, you'll have to excuse me for kind of jumping in the time machine here, but just hearing you talk about, the mindset with your girls right now and how the season has gone, it kind of reminds me of your guys' state Final Four team a couple of years ago, because I remember talking to you sort of about how that tournament had went for you guys, and you had told me it was one of those things where, you pick up a home win early in that tournament and you just kind of get the momentum rolling from there, despite playing some teams that I'm sure many people didn't think that you'd be able to take out, right? The Warrensville Heights of the world. I think Chippewa was the win after that. Even your district final game was a real tough one, an overtime game that was all the way out in Pennsylvania practically. It feels kind of similar in that regard, with just kind of building that belief early in the postseason, getting some of that momentum on your side, and then riding it from there. Is that kind of where you feel you're at right now with this year's squad?
Yeah, that's definitely the type of feel that we have. I obviously it's a little bit different. That team was pretty special. They hadn't lost all year long, and defensively they were next level when it came to playing half court defense. Our girls are very athletic. We get up and down, we pressure, we try to create turnovers. Like I said, we try to get the game chaotic. But as far as the confidence level, like you're talking, I think our girls are just getting more confident after each game, similar to that run a couple of years ago. And that's what I'm expecting tonight, that confidence to lead these girls and be right where we need to be at the end of that fourth quarter.
Rock, before we wrap it up with you, I can't see your hat, but I'm guessing it has something to do with your military service. Rock's an Army veteran. I can't see it.
Yeah,
but what is the hat?
Yeah, it's my Desert Storm veteran hat.
Yeah. So, I don't know a lot of people know that about Coach Houston, but he served in Desert Storm, served our country, and Rocky is a committed man in many ways. So thank you for that, Rock.
No question.
Appreciate that. Appreciate it, gentlemen.
Well, Coach, we're up against it with the 10 o'clock hour, but thank you very much for the time this morning. I know one of our shorter interviews with you, but certainly looking forward to seeing how that one plays out for you guys today at 4. Trip over to Wellington for you guys. So a familiar environment. I'm sure that maybe kind of plays into things for you guys today, but best of luck to you and your girls. And I'm sure we'll be catching up again here soon down the line.
Yeah. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Rocco. Thank you, WEOL. We appreciate it. And, we plan on putting a good show on for everybody today, and hopefully we get a turnout. It's almost like a home game for us.
Yeah. Good luck today, Rocky.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Rocky Houston, head coach of the Keystone Wildcats, and I'm willing to bet that might be like a home game for them, right? Because you're already going to have, as we talked with Jeff Holzhauer, you're already going to have those Keystone folks in a basketball mood with that 1 o'clock game, and
it's a great
do
day
anything else on a Saturday, right?
Make your way out there. Fan in Keystone in LaGrange right now.
There you go. Absolutely.
It's a beautiful blue sky, sunny day. It's warmer for late February.
Yeah, we're getting some rays on us through the windows here in the Polinsky headquarters here at the Chronicle. So awesome, great stuff. Well, big thanks to everybody who joined us in that 9 o'clock hour. As we'll step aside, take a timeout. When we come back for the 10 o'clock hour, plenty of more coaches to talk to. Paul Apple for the Avon Lake girls. They have a 4 o'clock date this afternoon with Canfield, a district final. That'll be right down the street here at Elyria High School. So we'll talk with Coach Apple about that. Ben Chase from North Ridgeville and Mike Fitch from Avon will join us in the 10 o'clock hour. They have a date with each other on Tuesday in a tournament game. So they'll play for the third time this season. They split in the regular season. So that'll be a lot of fun to talk about it with those two gentlemen. Adam Castrilla from the Avon girls. He'll join us at 10:30. District championship for them tonight in Medina at 7 o'clock, taking on Massillon, Washington. And then Larry Babbitt from the Brookside Cardinals. He'll join us as well. Huge tournament win for the Cards last night over Perry, 72-61 in the sectional final. They're on to play Orville next round. We'll talk to Coach Babbitt about that at about 10:40. But we'll take this time out. When we return, more Nick Abraham Saturday Sports wrap-up show for you. Rock Anushi, Ron Yance here with you on a Saturday morning. We're right back after this timeout.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, radio voice of the Cavs. For several years, you've heard me talk about EcoTree Services on WEOL. Recently, I needed trees removed, so of course, I contacted EcoTree. They did an incredible job. The folks at EcoTree were timely, efficient, and the work was flawless. Take it from me. When your trees need attention or even require removal, contact EcoTree Services. Like me, you'll love their work. Find EcoTree Services online at ecotreeservices.com.
Nick Abraham Elyria Ford is proud to once again be a part of the Cleveland Auto Show, running February 20th through March 1st at the IX Center. Check out the latest models, explore new technology, and find the perfect ride that suits your lifestyle. Love what you see at the show? Head over to Nick Abraham Elyria Ford for special deals you don't want to miss. From the show floor to the showroom, your next ride awaits at Nick Abraham Elyria Ford at the corner of Route 57 and East Broad Street in Elyria. Lorraine Medina Rural Electric offers a quick and easy way to pay bills online, monitor your daily electric use, and receive updates from your cooperative through SmartHub. Members can sign up for this service at www.lmre.org or contact the LMRE office at 440-647-2133 for more information.
Are you undecided about your future and overwhelmed by the options? Well, don't worry. You're not alone. Lorain County Community College has helped thousands of students just like you find their future career. From short-term training programs to transfer options all the way to bachelor degrees, our programs are designed to set you up for future success. Lorain County Community College. Your goals, your career, your future. Enroll today.
WEOL.com is your home for local Lorain County sports. See all the latest sports news from around the county, featuring stories by the team at the Chronicle Telegram. Check out our upcoming broadcast schedule to see when your favorite games will be streamed live and free. Find the latest scores all in one place so you never feel behind on the action. And if that's not enough, we have you covered with the latest highlights.
Their pass intercepted by Cowling. Cowling coming the other way. Goes up for the shot, made it, and he's fouled.
WEOL.com, your home for local Lorain.
Lorain County has a story every day. Make sure you don't miss it. From breaking news and high school sports to schools, business, and community events, the Chronicle has it all. Stay connected to your neighbors and your home team with coverage that matters most to you. Don't just hear about Lorain County, know Lorain County. Subscribe today at chroniclet.com/subscribe and get the news that keeps you in the know. The Chronicle Telegram, Lorain County's largest newspaper.
Back here on the Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show, live from the lovely studios at the Chronicle Telegram.
Palatial.
Here, right? Yeah, that's, man, all kinds of fun adjectives. Do you read the Thesaurus Nightly, or is that just great vocabulary out of you, generally speaking? What's up with that?
It's just being old, Rocco.
Well, that's... Hey, you said it, not me. You and Kurt already had your old man banter here this morning, so I'll leave you to that.
All right.
But there we go. So Rocky,
embrace it.
Yeah, right. You have to. Hey, I'm turning.
He's going to be 30.
Oh, yeah, that's
in like 21 days.
Well, that I was like,
I
was in the car for a good 10, 15.
3 weeks till 30,
yeah,
Rocco.
Right.
Yeah.
Like 10, 15 minutes the other day. I'm driving home from here, actually, and I was just kind of, staring at the road ahead, and I was lost in thought about the fact that I'm turning 30 and that my 20s were coming to a close. And I'm sure you and some others watching are rolling your eyes. Oh, you're still young, blah, 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 blah. But that's a tough one to swallow, I think, Ron.
You'll be okay.
I think I will.
You're going to be okay.
I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. Playing some pickup basketball tomorrow, so hopefully
be careful.
I know, right? That's especially with my history.
You're not 15.
No, I am not, and I think the diet will have to certainly start to be adjusted as well as we continue to move forward. But
our teammate Mike Rush doesn't even play, and we've got his head coach Paul Apple coming up shortly here. Mike's Paul's steady assistant. Paul actually told us that Mike doesn't even jump in, little pickup games with the Shore Gals. So Coach Rush is probably significantly younger than you, I think. So,
significantly. Get out of here. Oh, my goodness gracious. Goodness me. Yeah. Well, Rockanushi, Ron Yance here with you. Big 10 o'clock hour lined up for you guys, like Ron told you. Paul Apple, head coach of the Avon Lake Shore Gals. He'll join us here in a couple of short minutes. They got a date with Canfield at Elyria High right down the road from us here at the Chronicle. 4 o'clock. That one's scheduled to tip. So Jared, Zach, Sprague, and I were going to race from North Ridgeville from our 1 o'clock game. Elyria Catholic and Canal Fulton Northwest. They'll duke it out at 1, and then we're racing over to Elyria to get that 4 o'clock game with Avon Lake. But Ron, why don't you reset some scores from last night for us, and then I'll give you guys today's schedule as well.
Last night, all boys action last night. A lot of girls action today. In a sectional final, Brookside beat Perry 72-61. We got Coach Babbitt's coming up in this hour. The Cardinals play next Orville. Notre Dame Cathedral Latin knocked off the Firelands Falcons 70-52 in a sectional championship game. So Firelands' steady season has come to a close. The Midview Middies are no longer this basketball season. They lose to Akron Hoban 71-37. Elyria Catholic took one on the chin last night right here on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel and on WEOL.com. Rob Polinsky, Jared Kozar, and Gary Pelter brought you that broadcast. Brush beat the Panthers 50-35. And then Lorraine, the Titans basketball season is over for this year. They lose in a sectional final, 83-59 to Mentor.
So plenty of action happening today, both on the boys and girls side. As I told you already, at 1 o'clock, the Elyria Catholic girls, Eric Rothgary and friends, they'll head on over to North Ridgeville to take on the Indians of Canal Fulton Northwest. That is a Division IV district championship game. Again, at North Ridgeville. We'll have that one for you live on WEOL.com and on that Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. A couple of other 1 o'clock games. One more on the girls side. Olmsted Falls, Jordan Eaton and friends taking on John Marshall, a district title at Berea Mid-Park. Again, a 1 o'clock tip there. 2 1 o'clock boys games as well, both sectional finals. Youngstown Liberty visits Keystone. We talked to Jeff Holzhauer about that one a little earlier. Again, sectional final at Keystone at 1. Then the Black River boys. How about the Pirates this season, Ron Jans? They're playing host to Apple Creek Waynedale, a sectional final at 1 o'clock over at Sullivan. So that should be a good one there. Some 4 o'clock action for you guys. Again, our game on WEOL.com and on the CT YouTube channel. Avon Lake, the Shore Gals taking on the Cardinals of Canfield at Elyria High School, a district championship game there. The Keystone girls in action as well. They're at Wellington taking on Worcester Triway for a district title. And the North Ridgeville girls, Amy Esser and their bunch taking on North Canton Hoover, a district final at Berea Mid-Park following that Olmsted Falls girls game. And then the lone 7 o'clock game tonight, Ron, a good one down in Medina. The Avon girls and Adam Castrilla, they're still dancing after a ferocious comeback against Lakewood earlier this week. Again, they're taking on Massillon at Medina, 7 o'clock for a district championship game. Coach Castrilla will join us in about 20 minutes or so to talk about that one. But I see him in the queue. He's on the move. He's headed somewhere. It's Paul Apple, head coach of the Avon Lake Shore Gals. He's mobile this morning in the car on the move, and we're breaking up a little bit with him, so hopefully that connection holds strong to at least get some audio from him. But, Coach, thank you for joining us this morning. We appreciate it. How we doing?
Thank you guys for having me. I was just pulling into the high school here.
There we go. There we go. So maybe that connection will cooperate a little more as you get out and get on the move. But
Paul's got his seatbelt on. That's a good thing.
He does. Safety first always, right?
Right. John Sheriff was on earlier with Paul, the Columbia boys coach, and his son just turned 16, just got his driver's license. I think it was today, this morning.
Correct, yeah.
So if Coach Sharf's son is watching our show right now, you, young man, Coach Apple, are setting a fine example for a new driver.
Very good.
Huge one for you guys today, right? Taking on Canfield, 4 o'clock district championship game at Elyria. As we said, we'll have it on WEOL.com and on that Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. As you guys have had a nice little postseason so far. You knocked out Louisville in the previous round to punch your ticket to today's district championship game. How do you and the girls kind of feel about this one heading into it?
Yeah, I mean, Canfield is a very strong team, a historically strong program. I think they're 22-2 on the season. They won their league down there. So we made the trip out to Canfield on Wednesday to watch them play Uniontown Lake. Canfield plays an interesting zone that is something that we took some time to prepare for. And we're actually getting up to the school now to do a final walkthrough about some things there. And then they have a few talented offensive players. I mean, really, the 1,000-point scorer in Jenna Treveri, who's very talented, and then just a team of seniors. I think 7 of the 8 players in their rotation are seniors, so they're used to playing in big moments. So it's a big challenge for us, but we're excited for the opportunity here at Elyria.
Coach, talking to our colleague and your assistant, Mike Rush, a little bit about how the end of this regular season went for you guys heading into postseason play. Your last 6 games, and I'll add that tournament game against Louisville into that one as well. As I look here on Max Preps, Bellevue, Olmsted Falls, North Ridgeville, Berea Mid-Park, Hoban, and then Louisville. I mean, that's about as tough of a 6-game stretch as any team could possibly have. And that's by design for you guys, isn't it? Maybe not completely with some of those conference games in there, but having Hoban at the end of the regular season, that all to me screams tournament prep, tournament prep, tournament prep. How much does facing that kind of competition heading into postseason play start to pay off for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it was something that the game actually got moved. It was supposed to be during that week of when everybody was getting schools canceled with snow, and it really was helpful. It didn't gave us a little less time off. And I think our Joe McGill from the Morning Journal told me the other day, the combined record of the teams we've lost to is 130-30. So we've really tried to push ourselves and play very strong competition and teams that play different styles. So when we get in big moments, it's not, it's, games, and it's defenses, and it's offensive and good players that we've seen before. So we enjoy the challenge of playing in those games, and we hope that really will start to pay off today and moving forward.
Paul, why do you think your team's ready right now as tournament time has, started? And what I mean by that is, you lost a lot of experience specifically on the perimeter last year. And then you had a summer injury to a starter who you expected big things of. So you had you were youthful at the beginning of this season, and class-wise, you're still youthful if you say sophomore or junior with not a lot of varsity experience. But you're no longer youthful because you've played over 20 basketball games. Why are you guys ready to take on a Canfield team today?
Yeah, I think the kids have evolved so much over the course of the season, and they've really started to buy in and learn how much preparation and all the little details in every possession that matters to be able to beat really good teams. And that's what those seniors we had last year, I don't even know if any of them were double digit scores, but they did all the little things right for us. And some of these younger kids who are really talented basketball players had to learn that as the season went on. And there's no better way to learn it than going through hard moments. And, our leadership has been really good. Olivia Miller has been a key player for 4 years, but she's really stepped up in the leadership department. And then Evelyn Ritt as a senior point guard, she's really replaced our guards from last year incredibly well, and she's running the show for us. And those upperclassmen have given us a little bit of a calming influence there to help bring the younger ones along, and the younger ones are doing a great job of being ready.
Well, go ahead, Jerry.
Well, I'm sure we've asked about this earlier this season. I just haven't been on the show quite as much this season. But what maybe is some or are some differences, I should say, between last year's state title appearance team to this year's team? Obviously, some familiar faces. You lost some really good seniors, of course. And seeing you guys play, to me, there are some similarities, but there's some differences too with how you guys have had to play this season.
There definitely are similarities and differences. I mean, last year we'd probably be here right now, and I tell you, I don't really know who our leading scorer is going to be today, because we had 5-6 different kids who could be the leading scorer in that moment. This year we played through Olivia Miller and Molly Milligan predominantly, and we expect big things from them, and they've produced all season long. So we're doing that. But then our other kids have really grown throughout the season, like Riley Corey. First game of the season, she didn't even enter the game rotation wise, and then now tonight she's starting for us. So there's been so much progress there that we've been able to get back to our defensive fundamentals. And I think that was probably our biggest thing, is really getting to the point defensively where it was really hard for teams to score. And I mean, I think we were up 21-2, and Louisville hadn't made a field goal with maybe a minute or 45 seconds left in the first half the other night. And that's our standard defensively, and that's where things are going to start, as long as I'm here.
Is that the key to tonight, the start, that first quarter, first couple of minutes, making that defensive statement?
I think that is definitely a key, is to get comfortable. And the way that they play defense, it is a little bit of a funky zone and something that our kids are not overly comfortable in. So it'll take a little bit for them to settle in. But we want to make sure our defense stays solid. And then once the game starts to flow and you're able to it's just another basketball game, and the kids really get a feel for the game and everything, then I think they will get comfortable. But our defense has to be great today for us to be able to win. As long as we don't turn it over and let them get out in transition, we feel really good about what we can do in the half court.
Paul, speaking of transition, and I don't know anything about the funky zone that you're talking about with your opponent tonight, but will you be more of a transition team tonight to not let them set up in that zone?
Definitely.
You want to try to get out and run it and not let them set up in that half-court zone that may give you some issues?
Yeah, that's something we want to play fast, and we want to push the ball up and down the court, because we don't want to give them a chance to set up. And whoever – we even think, like, our bigs are very athletic, so we want to get those kids out running. We want to get Olivia out in transition, and all of our other guards who can really push the ball. So we are going to try to play the game at our tempo. We'd rather play fast. We're comfortable if it ends up slowing down. We're going to try to make them have long possessions at that end. but we want to play as fast as we can offensively.
Well, Coach, kind of hearing you talk about Canfield, I imagine these couple of days of preparation, getting ready for this afternoon, big task for you as a coaching staff, but then also kind of the quote unquote practice squad players as well, to try to replicate what Canfield does, right? Because, like you said, it's a bit of a funky zone, unique. And I'm with Ron. I mean, I haven't watched the film. Obviously, I don't know exactly the ins and outs, the X's and O's of it, but I got to imagine that's a tough task to try to replicate that as best you can throughout a week of practice and preparation.
Yeah, it was made tougher because let's see, on Wednesday we had 3 players out with the flu. We didn't practice Thursday because basically the rest of the team had the flu.
Oh my gosh.
So we practiced Friday and tried to replicate it, but again, it wasn't quite full speed, so that's why we're coming in again this morning. So it's been a little more walkthrough based, but we've watched film as a group on Zoom in different ways, trying to show the way that they do things. So again, we know it'll take a few minutes to get settled in, but at the end of the day, basketball is basketball. We trust our players.
How's everybody feeling?
I think everybody should be able to play today. We don't anticipate anybody being out. They're still getting back to full strength, but I think we're getting pretty close.
Good. Yeah, this flu has been no joke. I mean, that's the cliche joke every winter here in Northeast Ohio. Man, it has been brutal these last couple of weeks, not just with you guys, but a lot of our other teams as well. So, Coach, thank you very much for joining us. We'll let you get to it here this morning so you guys can get ready, but we'll be seeing you guys at 4:00 over at Elyria.
Well, let's take this opportunity to give a little shot, not shout out, but shot to assistant coach Mike Rush. And I think Mike's listening. This week, when you were down girls and you needed bodies, I'm guessing Rush did not volunteer to be one of those bodies, right? His track record, he does not run at all.
Exactly. We had to tell him to tone it down a little because we knew how special of an athlete he was out there. We didn't want to tone anybody out.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
Beautiful. No hanging on the rim. So
it says it everywhere in the gym. Don't be doing it. Oh, that's funny. Coach, great stuff. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you over at Elyria at 4:00 this afternoon.
Paul, good luck.
All right. Thank you both. Have a good one.
You too.
It's Paul Apple, head coach of the Avon Lake Shore Gals, kind enough to share some time with us here.
Hey, Coach Rush texted me when we were talking about your big 3-0 coming up. He said that he's got a big birthday coming up too. I'm guessing, does that mean he's going to be 21 finally?
Right, yeah. So have his first adult beverage, right?
Adult beverage.
There we go. Great stuff. Well, we go from the Avon Lake girls to the Avon girls. Head coach Adam Castrilla joins us now. Coach, first and foremost, thank you very much for making a quick pivot. I had you in the originally scheduled 10:20 guest. He wanted the change. I asked you if you could make the change. You made the change, so I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
No problem.
That's kind of how this week has gone for you guys, hasn't it? I mean, I had that game earlier this week against Lakewood, and I know the focus tonight is with Massillon, so we'll certainly get to that. But just wanted to quickly revisit that one because, again, as I was telling Ron, you guys were down 17-3 after that first quarter, and you talked about it in the Chronicle. We talked about it post-game on our broadcast. It wasn't panic. It wasn't freak out. It wasn't, we got to get this back right away. It was kind of like, hey, let's chip away. Let's get it to single digits by the half, and we'll kind of go from there. And you guys not only did that, but you ran away from them in that second half. That was a really stellar performance after that first 8 minutes earlier this week for your girls.
Yeah, well, thanks. All obviously credit to the kids. I mean, I can continue to say all those things, which I did. It's just that the kids then have to kind of believe it and believe in themselves and all of that to ensure that happens. But I mean, again, I kept saying throughout the year, like these experiences that we're finding ourselves down and fighting back and not giving up and all the things. I mean, it's just that game was just a microcosm of our year. When it just came to, just adversity and having to grow up pretty quick. And, they were never, you could just tell in their faces they weren't done and we were good. I mean, honestly, when you go back and look at it, it's really hard to miss as many shots as we actually did in that first quarter. So it wasn't like we were actually not getting, good shots. So just reiterating, we're fine, keep shooting, they'll go in, and thankfully, they started to go in.
Adam, last time you and I talked, you were preparing for the Avon Lake game, and you were helping me prepare for the Avon Lake game for the broadcast. And you just mentioned two words that I thought it took me back to the time when you and I first talked. You mentioned adversity and you mentioned growing up, and specifically to the Lakewood game. But when I look back to our conversations for the prep of the Avon Lake game, you at that time were going through, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was going to be the first game all season where you felt you were at full strength in that Avon Lake game because of adversity, because of injuries and sicknesses and different things like that.
Yep.
And because of that, you had all those young guards having to grow up pretty quickly. So my question is, how has that played out now here at the end of February? How better are you because of all those things that you experienced early and mid-season?
Yeah, I mean it is. I mean it's definitely, and part of that is just not just the three freshmen have been playing really well for us right now, but it's also some of the other kids that that were the sophomores and some juniors, other underclassmen that just didn't have as the same opportunity. So whenever you're missing kids that are going to take a lot of your playing time, other kids got to step in. And so as much as you don't want kids to get hurt, sick, all those things, what it did was is it accelerated everyone else and forced them into those situations to where they had to do more. And so when we get back to your point today, we feel really good. And I don't know how many teams can say this, but I think we got 11 kids on the floor against Lakewood, and we're really deep now, and so we don't have to rely on one ball handler. We don't have to rely on one kid, to carry the scoring load. And so I think we're a better team now than we could have ever been if we started the year, healthy and everything was good. So yeah, of course we'd want to win some more games, but this time of year, you're exactly, and I feel like we are exactly where we would want to be, where we're peaking now as opposed to earlier in the year.
Coach, what really stands out to me with you guys, and well, a lot of things stood out, certainly in that win earlier this week. I think that was only the second time I got to see your girls this season, but playing so many girls and going deep into the rotation like that. We were talking about this with some of our boys coaches in the 9 o'clock hour. You kind of, you maybe get some egos in there, you get some pouting about minutes and all that stuff, but that, at least, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, from the outside looking in, that doesn't really seem to be the case for you and your girls. It seems like all 9, 10, 11, however many get in, they know what their role is, right? They know, okay, if it's Elena or Abby, they kind of understand, all right, I got to do some of the offensive lifting a little bit. But I remember in that postgame, you shouted out an Emily Mangan, who doesn't get a lot of looks and touches offensively, but played some stellar defense and really helped you guys win that ball game. Emma Fitch kind of falls into a similar category, I would think, as well. How important and crucial is that for your girls, having them all understand what their role is and not really trying to do too much outside of it to where, the game plan and things are put into jeopardy?
Yeah, and I would give those kids a ton of credit. All our kids for that matter, but those two names that you just mentioned, they've been great all along. And and I don't think our younger kids could have had the success that they've had without kids like Emma and Emily being great teammates. Because I think this day and age, I think there's a lot of just and this is just an overall opinion, not necessarily with anyone in our team, but I think a lot of people just feel like, well, okay, if I'm a junior or I'm a senior, it's my turn to play. And the reality is especially at this level, we've got to, it doesn't really matter your grade. It's who the ability and all of that. So, just having them not have that mindset, and we're great teammates, have continued to be great teammates, whether they realize it or not, they're setting that example for those young kids to see, what it means to be a great teammate. And I think also just having those constant communications with the kids, talking about the roles, talking about how roles can change, talking about minutes increasing, decreasing. And I think that's the key, especially with kids, is that you just have to communicate because if you don't, then we start to wonder, and then we start to, so to speak, get that stinking thinking. And that's, again, just open lines of communication, and trying to avoid that. But we've been really lucky. Our kids are great. They're just great kids, and they just want to see each other be successful.
Adam, tonight against Washington High School out of Massillon.
Yep.
Everybody knows that they're a big football school because of the history there, but obviously they got a pretty good basketball team on the girls' side. What is it about them tonight that you and your team have to take particular care of or attention to?
Well, they are, they for the most part play 6 kids, consistently. One of their guards, I think she's roughly 26 points a game. So she's really good. And not to take things away from their other kids, but we've kind of taken the approach of very similar, to what we always try to do is to find comparisons to teams that we've already played this year, and I would liken them to probably like a Berea, where they have one really, really talented guard that has the ball a ton in their hands, a lot of volume shots, and I think our key moving forward is just not letting the others. So it's okay if one person is getting their buckets, but we just can't let the others kind of play over their heads a little bit. So they like to get up and down, and ultimately, though, I think that we have a pretty good game plan, and we feel really, really good about our chances this evening.
If they play 6 and they like to get up and down, they must be the most highly conditioned basketball team around. That's a tough ask, isn't it?
I think so, and that's partly why it goes back to our depth, and I would give that same thought to just the Lakewood team we just played. Kind of similar. They're not very deep in their bench, and I think part of that in the second half for us is just wearing them down, and we can just continue to throw fresh bodies out there and make life difficult. So a lot of the same with Massillon tonight. I mean, we just want every opportunity to push the ball down the floor and take advantage of our depth and maybe their lack of.
Fantastic. Well, I'm certainly looking forward to seeing how that one plays out. I mean, again, a heck of a game that I got to take in against Lakewood for you guys earlier this week. That was a lot of fun to be a part of, and we won't be down in Medina tonight, but I'll certainly be trying to get as many scoring updates as I can on that one. So, Coach, thank you again very much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it, and hey, best of luck to you and the girls as you guys get set to head down to Medina tonight.
Thanks, appreciate it, guys.
Good luck, Adam.
You got it. It's Adam Costrella, head coach of the Avon Eagles, kind enough to share some time with us here this morning. Really appreciate that. Massillon, they got a good boys basketball team this year as well, so they're certainly killing it on all fronts athletically. Well, speaking of Avon, a team that'll be playing the boys' side of the Avon Eagles. It'll be the North Ridgeville boys next week. Ben Chase of the North Ridgeville Rangers. He patiently awaits, and he'll join us after this quick timeout. More of the Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show coming your way after this.
Nick Abraham Elyria Ford is proud to once again be a part of the Cleveland Auto Show, running February 20th through March 1st at the IX Center. Check out the latest models, explore new technology, and find the perfect ride that suits your lifestyle. Love what you see at the show? Head over to Nick Abraham Elyria Ford for special deals you don't want to miss. From the show floor to the showroom, your next ride awaits at Nick Abraham Elyria Ford at the corner of Route 57 and East Broad Street in Elyria.
Are you undecided about your future and overwhelmed by the options? Well, don't worry, you're not alone. Lorain County Community College has helped thousands of students just like you find their future career. From short-term training programs to transfer options all the way to bachelor degrees, our programs are designed to set you up for future success. Lorain County Community College, your goals, your career, your future. Enroll today.
Back on the Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show, Rakanushi, Ron Jans here with you. About a half hour left to go. A couple more coaches to get to before we say goodbye this morning. And let's bring them on now. Ben Chase head coach of the North Ridgeville Rangers. Him and his guys getting set for a tournament game on Tuesday. We'll have it on WEOL.com and on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. Those guys going to Avon to take on the Eagles. Coach, that'll be the third time this season that you and Avon lock horns, and I guess I just wanted to start with that, right? We talked earlier this morning to another coach about trying to take on a team twice. I think it was Kurt Russell from Oberlin. They played Independence twice. So forget twice, 3 times. You guys are going to duke it out. You guys split in the regular season. How tough or not tough, I guess, is it to prepare for a matchup the third time, especially against a conference opponent where you just know each other so well?
It's actually really refreshing. Given the time off that we've had, or I guess time in between games, you don't have to relearn an entire team that you never played before. You don't have to watch like the most insane amount of film. So we're really, as we're watching film, game planning, we are looking at trends, statistics obviously, but recent things in their last 5 games, stuff like that. We know their personnel so well, we know their style so well. So another advantage is we get to focus on ourselves for a week, and you don't usually get to do that this late in the season, just because it's just game, 2 games. So it's been nice to just kind of continue to sharpen our stuff as best we can this week.
How has this week gone for you guys? Like you said, it's not necessarily time off; it's just time away from that in-game action, right? And it's very different from the season where, like you said, it's game, 2 days game. It's just so many games in a short amount of time. But then you get a little bit of an extended time away from the in-game action. How do you kind of approach those types of practices where I'm sure you're trying to get some rest for your guys, but also you got tournament basketball to be ready for?
Yeah, you said it really well. We're trying to shorten practice, but we're trying to be efficient with it. And I think that's really the goal. But to give you how is it having this much time off? It absolutely sucks. So it feels like Tuesday is still 2 weeks away right now. So we're getting closer.
What is inefficient practice in the mind of Ben Chase at this point, late in February?
Efficient practice at this point is an hour to an hour and 15 minutes with a lot of shooting and making sure that what we're trying to execute on Tuesday as far as schematically goes is focusing on that. And as soon as it looks good, we stop.
Ben, you can't change anything. Maybe you can. Maybe I'm over speaking. Playing Avon for the third time, it's not like you're going to change who you are. That just wouldn't be,
Correct.
In the Rangers' best interest. So what does a game like that come down to? Because I imagine, Mike Fitch isn't going to change who Avon is either. So does it come down to just as simple as it sounds, who's playing better?
No, I think it comes down. We're both coming off losses right now. So, who is playing better right now? We don't know. You could say they've won their last, 7 out of their last 8. Sure. But with a week and a half off, I think you kind of go back to the starting point. I think 100% on Tuesday is who executes a game plan better and what team has their best players play the best, which sounds so simple, but when it comes down to surviving and advancing, that's all it's about.
Well, basketball is, I think, more simple sometimes than people try to make it out to be, certainly. Coach, I guess for you guys, because I haven't really gotten a chance to talk with you much this season. I know I texted you that last night when I asked you to come on the show this morning. But just from an overall season-wide perspective, and maybe you've already talked about it earlier on the show this season, I don't know. But how did this year kind of go for you guys from just an overall record standpoint? Is this kind of where you thought you might be at the end of the season? Was there a lot of adversity you guys had to go throughout the course of a season? Every high school team does, right? You know that. But how did this year just kind of feel for you guys, now that we're heading into tournament play?
I'm going to try to answer this without being as, too negative, I guess. When you look at the overall result of 13-9, I think we underachieved by 3 to 4 games. I think every coach kind of goes out and say, hey, how high is this team's ceiling? And I think our team ceiling has been higher than this. I think we're like a 16 to 17 win team. We were hoping to finish, top 3 in the conference this year, and that didn't happen. So as far as the result goes, yeah, it was a little bit less than what we expected. But, I think overall why we haven't been able to win as many games and be as consistent as we wanted to is I think we haven't shot the ball from 3 as much as I thought we were going to. We're like a 32% team from 3 right now, which is like the definition of average, maybe even slightly below average. I was thinking that we were going to be really 37 to 39% this year. So when you talk about a 5% gap with as many threes as we take in a game, that's significant. So hopefully we start making more. You know, it hasn't been from a lack of shooting or practice, reps and stuff like that. So we just gotta be confident, knock them in.
Well, I know you told me you guys had practice earlier this morning, and so we'll let you go because I'm sure you got some other things you're trying to get done today. But how did practice this morning go? I'm sure shooting and getting some perimeter shots maybe has been an emphasis in the last couple of days, or maybe not.
No, it has been for sure. It's also like the right guys have to take the right shots. If a team like us who shoots about 25 a game, if it's the wrong guys taking the wrong shots or the right guys are taking the wrong shots, like that affects your percentage. We need the right guys on our team taking the open ones and the ones that we rep within our concepts and within our system. And then that's when we have our best shooting games. But we know as well, like we're really effective in the paint. We shoot 65% from 2 in the paint. Like we know that we have to force it inside a little bit against Avon. They're going to guard us really well. They're going to be locked in. So, we're ready for the challenge. It's going to be an exciting game. We're pretty pumped up about it.
Well, and their size is certainly something that presents matchup problems, I think, for a lot of teams, given their ability to play inside out more often than not, isn't it?
Yes. But when you look at us and you look at the way we move the ball and the way that the pace in which we play with, Mike has gone small against us both times. So that's something we're gonna identify really quick, whether he's gonna go big or he's gonna go small, whether he's gonna go big in zone, he's gonna go small in guard. That'll be definitely an interesting thing where I think that might kind of be the first domino to fall, especially if we get out to an early lead. We'll see how that goes.
Ultimate chess match, man.
Yeah,
I love that
great.
kind of stuff. I love that
Should
kind of stuff.
Should be a fun one.
So.
For
Awesome.
sure.
Well, Coach, thank you very much for joining us here this morning. Really appreciate it. Like I said, I think we'll be there Tuesday at Avon to call that one here on WEOL and on the Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel. So we're looking forward to it. Thanks again, and best of luck to you guys in your continued preparation for that one next week.
Appreciate you guys. I haven't been around for too long or in too many of these, but I appreciate everything you guys do for high school athletics, man. Really appreciate it.
You got it. It's my
Thank
pleasure,
you, Ben.
Coach.
Good luck.
It's Ben Chase, head coach of the North Ridgeville Rangers, kind enough to share some time here with us this morning. You guys not texting him during the regular season, or what's up with that, Ron? Come on.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
We're
more.
gonna have to
put
give
Jared
him some
Kozar
more
under
love.
the gun on that one,
Yeah.
I guess. So great stuff there. But again, yeah, I believe I'll confirm all this with Jared, but I believe Monday we'll have tournament basketball, and then Tuesday we should have that Avon and North Ridgeville boys district semifinal for you guys as well. So I see Larry Babbix is in the queue. His Cards got a huge tournament win over Perry last night, 72-61. Coach, hang tight for about 60 seconds. We'll be back after this sponsor. Thank you. It's Rocco and Ron with you on the Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show. We're right back after this.
Are you undecided about your future and overwhelmed by the options? Well, don't worry. You're not alone. Lorain County Community College has helped thousands of students just like you find their future career. From short-term training programs to transfer options all the way to bachelor degrees, our programs are designed to set you up for future success. Lorain County Community College. Your goals, your career, your future. Enroll today.
Hi, Tim Elkhorn, Cavs radio voice. Recently, we had some trees removed. So again, singing the praises of EcoTree Services. In a few hours, EcoTree had removed the unsightly trees, cleaned the debris, and opened the area for a new fence. I can't say enough good things about the people at EcoTree. I've used them several times, always thrilled with their work. If you have trees that require pruning or need to be removed, contact EcoTree, a local business that deserves your business. They've earned mine. Go to ecotreeservices.com.
Back on the Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show. Rakanushi, Ron Jans here with you for about 20 more minutes or so. 2 more head coaches to get to before we say goodbye and head on over to North Ridgeville for girls tournament basketball here this afternoon. And let's bring him on now. He is Larry Babbix, head coach of the victorious Brookside Cardinals. Big win for his guys last night over Perry, 72-61. And Coach, first and foremost, thank you as always for taking the time to join us here this morning. Really appreciate it. Kind of checking out the article in the Chronicle Telegram this morning written by Todd Shapiro. Looks like you did your homework on Perry. Wouldn't expect anything different from you and your staff over there, right? But looks like early on, you guys really kind of took it to them. You took care of your business early. I know they kind of closed the gap a little bit as far as the final score indicates, but really a good start seemed to have been the recipe for success for you guys last night.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously had a very good start to that game. First quarter, I think it was 22-6 or so. The kids played really, really well. I got to give a huge shout out to my assistant coach, Brian Kelly. I mean, we had I don't know, we probably ended up having like 12 films on Perry, and he scouted and statted 10 of them. I mean, that's a lot of work, because we're big on, if we can get a hold of somebody's stats. To me, stats are more important than film, because at this point of the season, stats don't lie. So a big part of what we try to do defensively, we're not the quickest team, is if we can identify guys that, either don't take threes or don't make threes, it allows us to keep our bigger guys kind of in the paint to help on, a team like Perry, who really just tries to break you down one-on-one, go a lot of 5 out. And, they were doing a really, really good job of that. The second half of the season, they had come in and they won 10 out of 11 games, with their only loss being to Kirtland, who was a regional finalist, last year, and who's obviously got a heck of a team this year. So, we told the guys it felt more like a district type of a matchup with an 8 seed and a 13 seed. And that we would have our hands full. But, the guys executed the game plan that we put in. They shot the ball pretty well, kept their composure. We'd have liked to cleaned up some stuff that we did in the fourth quarter, taking care of the ball and making better decisions. But again, when teams are, fighting to survive, they're a little bit more desperate to come at you, and they don't have nothing to lose. And then, you tend to be a little bit less aggressive than what you have been. So, but in the end, we made enough plays, won the game, and, advanced to Tuesday.
Larry, if you will, take us in the gym with you, day one of practice for, this week's opponent. And how do you take that data that Coach Kelly collects and present it in a game plan to your players? Is it stop, start, film with a big screen TV? Is it a piece of paper with diagrams on it? Maybe it's a combination. Maybe it's none of the above. How do you guys break it down and show it to the athletes?
Well, it's a little bit of everything. It's film, but, honestly, it's just grabbing their roster, saying, hey, we really emphasize what they do with 3-point shooting. And, they had 2 guys coming into that game that shot it really well. And their other 6 guys really didn't. They don't take a lot of attempts, and they don't, they didn't have great percentages. And, we're kind of like, but you're watching all this film and you don't see anybody like backing off of these guys. So you're kind of like, are we like think we're a little smarter than we are? What are we doing here? But like, we just knew if we tried to get out on the perimeter and guard them, they'd go right around us. So, it just helps when you through scouting, through everything else. And again, the first tournament game to me is always the easiest one, because you have so long to prepare for them. You just don't want to overthink it. Like as a coach, to prepare your team. Now, yeah, you do a little bit of work on Orville and West G, while you have some time, because you're so sick of watching Perry film, and I'm sure Perry was sick of watching Brookside film. So you just want to just watch something different. But now you got 3 days to prepare to go play the 6th seed on their home court, who's having a great year. They're 18-5, just like we are, playing a good, tough conference. So it's going to be quite the challenge on Tuesday night. But we look forward to it. Our guys are really, really confident, and this is a different team, man. They're goofy enough not to get too worked up about anything, and they're very confident in their ability. So, and again, we ended up, I think, 10-1 at home this year, with our, loss obviously being the Avon, obviously a great basketball team, well coached, everything. So there's no, nothing to hang your head about losing to them. But we kind of always like that road mentality. I just think it's always that cliche, like it's like you versus the world, and especially going away an hour and 15 minutes. And Orville's a beautiful gym, beautiful facility. Lost a tournament game there when I coached at Columbia. So I kind of know what I'm walking into there. I don't know if our kids do, but it'll be a heck of a game, Tuesday night. And, we just want that opportunity to get over to Ridgeville next Saturday for a district championship. And our guys will be focused and locked in these next 3 days. And, hopefully we'll be healthy and ready to go Tuesday night.
Coach, we know you at this point, right? We know you like to kind of beefing up that non-conference a little bit. Obviously, in conference is tough as well with the Keystones and the Columbias of the world and all that good stuff.
And
but
Oberlin this year.
Oberlin as well, right? But to conclude the regular season, you guys went over to Fairview, took on a really good Warrior basketball team. Ryan Berry's doing a bang-up job over there with Fairview, and I know it didn't go well results for you guys in that one, but point being, I guess my question for you would be, how much was that helpful, I guess, seeing a really good team like that, despite it not going your way? Was it helpful to see a really good Fairview team in that finale? And I don't want to say it was like a wake-up call for your guys or anything like that, but kind of, I guess, was that beneficial? I guess, point being, seeing Fairview in that regular season finale, getting ready for tournament play after that.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And we've kind of made that schedule. I mean, from the start, North Ridgeville was our game one. They beat us. We threw Avon there in the middle. Couple weeks later, you get Amherst. And then at the end of it, before you go in the tournament, you get Fairview. And all four of those teams kicked our they kicked our butts. So we've responded really, really well after those butt whoopings. The Fairview game was a little disappointing because we played them last year. We scrimmaged them. We have a really good relationship with Ryan, but they just took it to us, in the first quarter. And we were trying to play catch up. And as good as they are offensively, it's just a hard thing to do. But we knew we would respond well. And again, this is, when you're 18-5, whatever, like I told the papers after that game, like, just because your record's good doesn't mean you're good, and that's the message we sent out to our guys. Like, every time you have an opportunity to play a good team, you can't get your butts kicked. So I thought last night's win was huge just because how well they have played, where their rankings were. And I think it's huge for Tuesday nights because sometimes you look, and like last year we had Norton, who started the year really good as a first tournament game, but one of their best players ended up ineligible, and they just had a really bad second half. And we ended up beating them pretty easily in that tournament game. And I don't know if our kids just thought, well, okay, this isn't that hard. So last night, I don't care what the score was, we were tested against a pretty good team. So I think having that under your belt, just being tournament ready, especially, again, we got no seniors. We got one guy back, 1.5 guys back with varsity experience. So you want as much tournament experience as you can get. You want to put them in much adversity as you can. And that's why we play what we play. And, we beefed up the non-conference already. Our schedule's already done next year, and we've added Sandusky and Avon Lake to it. So, we play half the SWC teams and, Sandusky, which, you guys all know about Sandusky. They're always good. So we don't joke around. Like, we need to be tested all the time. And our league is going to be really good. The guys that are back in our league next year, it's going to be fun. So there's no easy one. So, our guys understand what's still at hand this year and how hard they're going to have to work in the off season, because what's going to face us next year.
Larry, if I could go back to the atmosphere at Orville for just a second, based on your experience as a player, then as a coach at different schools and different environments, and you said you think you are ready for next week, but you're not sure the players are yet. At what point in the game does basketball take over in that atmosphere? At the beginning of the game, is it all atmosphere? Is it all nerves? Is it all anxious because you're surrounded by red and black, although you guys are red and black, and people screaming at you? And at what point does basketball, pure talent, pure preparation, take over? Does it take over right away or not?
No, I think it's like we try to always like kind of use the analogy, like it's like two prize fighters going at it. You just want to kind of jab through that first quarter. Like we always feel like if we're close at halftime and our biggest thing is we don't have foul trouble, then we like our chances in the second half. We've won a lot of games. We've won almost every close game we've been in. And we're really confident. It's we tell our guys, and I'm like, give up the layup. I don't want to foul. We don't want to foul. We don't want the clock stop. We want to run. And most kids, especially good kids, are going to go to the free throw line and make the points anyways. And then we're managing through foul troubles the first half, third quarter, everything else. So we just want to stay with anybody we play. We just want to, I'd take going into halftime with none of my, tied and none of my guys having any foul issues and take my chances in that last 16 minutes. But like, this is like coaching year 31, I think, for me. And I was nervous last night. And I tell the kids always, like, if you're not nervous, it probably just doesn't mean all that much to you, or you're just like super cool. And, I like, just get out there, get running, get a good warm up. It'll go away, and they know that. And then that's just back to the point of your question. I think 3 or 4 minutes in, the nerves are gone. The first couple guys that come in the bench, they probably need their minute or two, and then then it's just the kids playing basketball. And we've been in hostile environments all year. We went to Keystone to try to win the conference, and having to win the game at home against Firelands in overtime. And we get great fan support. I mean, that team came from an hour and 15 minutes last night, and our gym was pretty filled. Because you look around some of these other sectional games, and you're just like, man, this is. Where's the crowds, And I'm not going to get in the old school stuff where, we should be in one gym and have 3 or 4 games a night and pack those gyms. But, our fans support us, and we'll have plenty of fans travel out to Orville on a Tuesday night supporting our guys. And, we just look forward to the challenge of, playing a really good basketball team Tuesday night.
Fantastic. We're certainly looking forward to seeing how that one plays out for you guys. So we'll let you go, Coach. But thank you again very much for the time this morning. We really have appreciated your time all season long. And here's hoping to maybe we have at least one more Saturday morning conversation with you before it's all said and done. So good luck to you and your guys as you get set for Orville next week.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Larry.
You got it. It's Larry Babbitt, head coach of the Brookside Cardinals, as we patiently await Mike Fitch, the Avon Eagles head boys basketball coach. He would be slated to be our final guest here this morning, but it's always a fun atmosphere over there at Brookside, isn't it, right? It's, not a tiny gym by any stretch of the imagination, but they show up, they're loud. Sounds like it was a good crowd over there, which, to his point, I think it's great when these sectional games get at least a halfway decent crowd, because he's absolutely right. I mean, we've even seen it, right, Ron? I mean, just so many sectional games where it's a team coming from 90 minutes away, 2 hours away, whatever it is. Maybe there's a big seating, discrepancy or differential, whatever, and you just don't really get a true playoff atmosphere. So at least for me, I'm always thankful from a broadcaster perspective when I'm a part of a postseason game, especially that actually has a little bit of juice, a little bit of life to it.
As a broadcaster, you feed off that energy.
Absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
We can all point to games where the gym's been full, the crowd is loud, there's lots of activity, and you feel like you did a better job as a broadcaster because you fed off that energy, as opposed to really fighting through a gym that's silent, where the player at the free throw line can hear you say Rocco Nucci is 0 for his last 3 from the foul line, and then fighting through that apathy, so to speak, as a broadcaster. But to his point about Orville, Jared and I did the Orville Keystone girls game
that's right,
at Keystone. So Orville had to make that trip, and we're on the visitor side, we're behind the benches where our broadcast position is, and it was full of black and red. It was full of Orville fans.
That's
so
awesome.
They traveled very well. Not only do they create that atmosphere at home where Brookside's going to be heading down to next Tuesday, but they bring it on the road too.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, it certainly makes for a better broadcast. I would say, just from a viewer perspective, you can hear it in the crowd mic and everything. So that's awesome. Well, again, we'll give Mike Fitch a couple of more minutes here to see if he can join us before we say goodbye, because eventually I do got to make my way over to
you
North
got to get going. So do I.
You
got 2 high school games.
You got
I've got
Chase Western action
games,
today,
so
right?
You and I've got places to be.
You got 2, right? It's the boys and girls regular
doubleheader,
season finale.
final regular season games.
So we're gonna need some throat relaxers, I think, after today.
Sunday will be a good day.
There you go. All right, so we'll step aside, take one more timeout. We'll give Coach Mike Fitch of Avon a couple of minutes to see if he can join us. If not, we'll again recap our broadcast schedule for today. We'll remind you of the games coming up today outside of our broadcast concerns go, and then we'll get on out of here, say goodbye, and we'll see you over at North Ridgeville at 1 o'clock. But hopefully Mike Fitch joining us from Avon after this timeout. It is the Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show here on WEOL.com and on that Chronicle Telegram YouTube channel.
Nick Abraham Elyria Ford is proud to once again be a part of the Cleveland Auto Show, running February 20th through March 1st at the IX Center. Check out the latest models, explore new technology, and find the perfect ride that suits your lifestyle. Love what you see at the show? Head over to Nick Abraham Elyria Ford for special deals you don't want to miss. From the show floor to the showroom, your next ride awaits at Nick Abraham Elyria Ford at the corner of Route 57 and East Broad Street in Elyria.
Lorain County Community College is where you'll lock in your future success. We've helped thousands of people just like you match skills and experience with a career. We can help you train for a career that is in demand right now. You can even work in your field while taking classes. LCCC will get you prepared, get you credentialed, and get you working. Lorain County Community College. Your goals, your career, your future. Enroll today.
WEOL.com is your home for local Lorain County sports. See all the latest sports news from around the county, featuring stories by the team at the Chronicle Telegram. Check out our upcoming broadcast schedule to see when your favorite games will be streamed live and free. Find the latest scores all in one place so you never feel behind on the action. And if that's not enough, we have you covered with the latest highlights.
Their pass intercepted by Cowling. Cowling coming the other way. Goes up for the shot, made it, and he's fouled.
WEOL.com, your home for local Lorain County sports.
Back on the Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show, Rakanushi Ron Yance here with you, and our final guest will welcome onto the stage right now, Mike Fitch, head coach of the Avon Eagles. Will have his tournament game next week on Tuesday as he gets set to play North Ridgeville for the third time this season. Again, we'll have that one for you live. So, Coach, as always, thank you very much for joining us. We had your counterpart in that one, Ben Chase, on earlier in the show to talk about it a little bit. So I'll open with the same question for you, I guess. Playing a team for the third time, right? Conference opponent. Not a whole lot of secrets between you, the two sides in this one. But to take on a team for the third time, and I know you guys split in the regular season, what's kind of the mindset in terms of preparation? How do you kind of balance trying to maybe throw some different looks at them, but also not getting too far away from who you are as an Avon Eagle basketball team?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously always tough playing someone three times, but, we normally are looking at a team that we've never played before. Like last year, we're going to Boardman and playing Stowe, guys that, our school has never played before. So obviously we're playing a conference team. You break down all the film. You normally don't have film against the same team you're playing. So you break down both times we played them, found our mistakes, and we try to correct those mistakes. We're still going to play Avon basketball. We can throw in a couple of wrinkles, but that's not going to change the game. Playing Avon basketball is what's going to give us a victory.
How do you kind of balance some of that film? And I'm not trying to get you to reveal all of your film secrets or whatnot, but do you put more emphasis on those two matchups? Do you try to look more at what they've done lately in some of their other matchups? How do you kind of try to balance that?
Well, I mean, every coach is so good in our conference, so everyone's preparing for the team that they play. So we can watch them against other teams, but they're going to play us differently. We have different guys than the other teams have, and how they focus on those certain guys. So obviously, we looked at our film a lot. We break it down into where we gave up buckets, where we scored, and how can we highlight those possessions and how we can get more of those to benefit Avon.
Mike, you mentioned it a couple of times in your first answer. You said we just need to play Avon basketball. What is that? On February 28th, the last day of February, what is Avon basketball right now?
Yeah, mainly we have to be physical. We're a physical team that's athletic, and we can use our length. So when we don't do that, we don't get back in transition D. We gave up a lot of points to them in transition D. So a big thing is getting back in defense and stopping them on their runs. And the second thing is, we call it no pass offense. We got to get rid of our no pass offense. We've done that against them a lot. We try to go one-on-one. We try to just catch and attack. And when we move the basketball and we share it and are unselfish, we're really hard to beat. So obviously that's the thing we've been focused on in practice a lot.
You kind of already alluded to it there. What did you like? What did you not like in those first two matchups against the Rangers?
Yeah, they scored at will in transition against us. I don't know what happened at our place. We kind of gave up. We got up big, and I think we thought the game was over. And that's a team that's never going to quit. They're going to keep battling. They've done it many times throughout the year. It's a really good basketball team. They have a really good scorer. They have a good shooter, and then their big man protects the paint. So that's a big focus that we need to do. We looked at that film and we looked at it and it kind of broke down of how we can, without saying too much, capitalize on things that they're good at and not allow them to do that.
Mike, at this point in the year, what does a practice look like for you? Is it shorter? Is it less physical activity? Is it more? What is a practice like at Avon at this point in the season?
Yeah, each team's different. the makeup of the team, how hard kids are going to go. We go hard no matter what, where we're at. We're going to go hard. We just limited those times down a little bit. So we went an hour this morning really hard, worked on stuff we need to work on. Normally Saturday mornings, we're kind of shooting a lot because we just played Friday night. The hard thing this year has been off for a week and a half. In basketball, you play twice a week. Sometimes we played 3 times a week this year because we got behind on the schedule. So that's the new thing we have to get used to. So now we're in our normal thing where we practice twice. We had today and then we go Monday. So we're kind of back in our new routine. But the hard thing is I'm worried about our guys, stamina, not playing for a week and a half. So we did some drills where we're going nonstop for about 5 to 6 minutes, like a quarter would be in a regular game. So that's been a focus for us.
Well, you may have already answered it, but do you like that kind of extended break to get ready for tournament time, or would you rather it not be that long? So you're shaking your head. You'd rather not have that kind of break.
No, let's play basketball. We are used to playing and adjusting after 2 practices and, looking at a scouting report. We just want to play, especially against a crosstown rival that's right next to us. And, they're driving about 7 minutes to get to our gym. So we just want to play the game. We're ready to go. We know what we're going to do. And I'm sure, Ridgeville's the same way. So, we just want to get that game going and, hopefully be able to play on the following Saturday.
Mike, just watching your body language right now, I think you're ready to play. You're ready to coach that game right now, aren't you?
We're ready to go. Our kids have been ready. We're trying to not talk it up too much yet.
Calories. Yeah. You've burned so many calories during this interview. You're like a boxer right now.
Well, I'm at one of our junior high games. We have tournaments all this morning, so we're at junior high games right after practice. So kind of in the hallway there standing. But like I said, we're ready to go. I know Ben's ready to go. It should be a really good atmosphere. Two really good programs that are going to battle to play another game. And we've never been in that situation with the conference team, so we're trying to get our students there. I know they'll have a huge student section, so it just should be a fun atmosphere.
Well, my last one for you, Coach, before we let you go, it's just so interesting. You guys got each other at each other's gyms, right? Home team lost on each occasion. You guys will be the host team next week. That's just an interesting dynamic to me that you guys each got road wins. Is that something you think about at all heading into this one, or is that just sort of, you break down the film and you're going to have your kind of, same game plan regardless?
Yeah, in our conference, honestly, the home team usually wins. Look at Amherst. There's a lot of games that actually the home team wins, and that's been the split difference between us and Ridgeville. I'm glad we're playing at home. I know we didn't win at home last time, but I'd rather play at home than play at their place. So I like our gym better than their gym. Obviously, any coach is going to say that. So what happened and where it happened, I don't think really matters. It's just playing Avon basketball.
Understood. Well, we'll let you get back to it because I know Ron and I got to run too. But, Coach, thank you very much for the time this morning. We really appreciate it. And we'll have that one for our listeners on WEOL.com and on the YouTube channel next Tuesday, you guys in North Ridgeville. So we're looking forward to it, and I know you are as well. So thank you again, Coach, and we'll see you guys over there next week.
Appreciate you guys doing all this. It means a lot to us. We don't have, I think today with so much technology, we kind of lost the old school stuff. So I love that you guys do this, and I appreciate it.
It's our pleasure,
Thanks,
Coach. Thank you. It's Mike Fitch, head coach of the Avon Eagles, kind enough to share some time with us, Ron. I know we're over 11, and I know you got to get to some doubleheader action. I got to get to some doubleheader action. Any final thoughts from you before we say goodbye?
No, let's go. 1, 2, 3, go.
There we go. All right. I will thank our sponsors before we do officially say
absolutely.
Goodbye. LMRE, the Lorraine Medina Rural Electric Cooperative, Nick Abraham Buick GMC, and Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, corner of Route 57 East Broad Street here in Elyria. Lorraine County Community College, real education for good jobs, and EcoTree Services, your complete tree care company. Again, 1 o'clock today. I'll be at North Ridgeville for a district championship game on the girls' side. It's Elyria Catholic and Canal Fulton Northwest. And then at 4 o'clock, we will continue our coverage over at Elyria High School right down the road. It'll be the Avon Lake girls taking on Canfield. So for all of our coaches, for our sponsors, for Ron Yance, I'm Rocco Nucci saying thank you for watching another episode of the Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show. We'll see you guys here shortly at 1 o'clock over at North Ridgeville for a girls' district title.